So, Rich, man, episode 5 of the Hi-5. We've got Evan tonight.
Yeah,
what
we
do you
do.
think?
I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to him.
Man, it's going to be awesome. Hey, did any of his movies make your top 5?
Well,
What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us for the Faces for Radio podcast. I am David, your host, aka the 4K Lowdown. My co-host is
Rich, aka Turner Fan 77. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing actually pretty good, man. Today was a good day, as Ice Cube would say.
That's good. Yeah, you got your ears lowered, I see.
I do.
Got your hair did.
Yeah.
Looking pretty spry, my friend. So, yeah, we got a good show tonight. We
do.
Evan, Popculture33 is going to be with us.
I'm excited.
To do his Hi-5. I'm looking forward to that. And I think we should just get right into it.
Yeah,
I'm going to go.
Get him in here, man.
Yeah, I'm going to get him in here. So this man doesn't need an introduction, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. What makes him so unique is his participation within the community. I'm so proud of his involvement with our show that I had to have him join us tonight. The Faces for Radio introduces a man that is sure to be in Rich's top 5, Popculture33, aka Evan. How you doing, brother?
Thank you. Rich's top 5 friend right here.
Yep,
I love that tag. I absolutely love it. It is funny. When we logged in, or when I logged on, these two are already talking, and I seen what he wrote. Dude, made me chuckle.
Yeah, so awesome. And not
What's
to be
up,
outdone, Harrison jumped in first to comment. Beat you, Evan. Oh wait, you're being interviewed. He sent that 3 hours ago. So
he doesn't. He wanted his cookie. He wanted that cookie to be the first comment. So
he had to have that cookie. So he jumped on at 3 o'clock and put in that comment. So I almost responded and just laughed at him for doing that.
Yeah.
So Evan, man, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Looking forward to talking about these 5 movies. In general, what was your scope in picking these movies?
For me, I wanted, first of all, I'm known as the Disney guy. I'm a Disney historian. And so, but I didn't want to pick Disney movies because, one, I hope you can invite me back and I just do all Disney movies. And number 2, I picked these movies because I thought each movie you guys would enjoy that you often don't talk about on your show. So I was really thinking about you guys as the audience, as what you would want, not just my top favorite, but what you guys would enjoy and maybe be exposed to that you maybe never would go and pick up, off your shelf on your own. So that was it. I only had one disappointment because of All the President's Men, which should be on this list, because if you talk to me, that is one of my all-time favorite movies. I've seen it over 100 times. I watch it about 5 times a year. My wife gets so annoyed when I'm putting it on. You're watching it again? Yes, yes, I am. Yes. But it went away. Like literally the month that I gave it, it just disappeared. But I got a good feeling, I thought. So, but that was kind of my pick behind it, was kind of like, what are some different type of movies that you guys don't often talk about, but also hopefully will enjoy in this?
Well, it worked, because there's 3 movies on here I wouldn't have watched. And there's no way in hell I would have picked them off a shelf, rented them, saw them on streaming. No way I would have watched them. And 2 of them I ended up really liking.
Awesome.
Yeah, there were 3 first-time watches. No, I'm a correction. First-time finishes for me. two first-time watches. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was a great group of movies. I had a blast watching them. And before we continue, Caveman is in the house. What's up, Caveman? Thank you so much for joining us, brother. All right. So, Evan, here's how it's going to work. We're going to start with our lowest average score and continue on to our highest ranking score. We'll have you score each movie live based on 10 categories, and I will explain each category as we go. Before we do each movie, I will present you with a hot seat question. So there's 5 hot seat questions altogether. Just basically getting to know you as a movie watcher, some of your tastes, and some things that you don't like. But hopefully you get some interesting conversation out of it. Spicy is in the house.
What's up, Spicy?
Thank you for joining us, brother. All right. So without further ado, Evan, are you ready for your first hot seat question?
I'm for it. Let's go.
All right. Hot seat question number 1. Do you prefer to watch movies in the theater, on digital, or through physical media?
If I wanted the perfect situation, it's going to be physical media in my house. That is my preferred way going to go. And it's not going to, believe it or not, it's not because of the video quality. It's because of the audio. I am an audio snob, and I want my perfect system, because digital, I don't mind digital and I don't mind the theater. I hate paying theater prices, but I got Movie Pass, so I've been going way more, because the nice thing about the movie is, because I have kids, I could go to the movie. I know I'm not going to hit pause. I'm going to finish it, start to finish in a sitting, and I could check it off my list.
Yeah.
But I hate people in the theater. I hate the sounds of people chewing. I hate the popcorn bag shake to get to the bottom. I hate the talking, all that stuff. So I'm just there just to like kind of watch the movie. But I'll do digital when it's cheap, because like, for example, Sidekicks came out on 4K, right? And I saw that price and I was like, I can't afford that. I went to iTunes and I saw it for $2.99 in 4K stream. I went, yes, thank you. I'll buy that digitally and save me like $50. Because I can't always afford every movie. Now, if I find it on 4K on the cheaper side, I would love it, or someone buys it for me, I'll take it. But so I'm a movie watcher at first. So I'll stream it, I'll buy it, but my preferred way, in my chair, watching it with my surround sound.
Yeah. Physically disc in the player.
And David, and I'm different than you. I want the original audio that the director wanted. I don't need Dolby Atmos. I want it how it was. So I watch the old movies. I watch it in mono. If it was in mono, I watch it in 5.1. I don't need, like, when they sometimes go back and re-edit it, I'm like, oh, that's not how it was first aired. I want the purest form of the movie. So I know. I watch you open your packages, Dolby Atmos. Oh, throw that disc away. If it doesn't have it, right?
5.1. Damn it. But yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten better at it. I was like, I'm not getting better. I've got to have my Atmos. I want my surround sound. I want all my speakers going off. I want bullets flying behind me. And yeah, when you remaster something for me in 4K, give me Dolby Atmos. That's what I want. I am getting used to Christopher Nolan doing that, because he always goes with 5.1.
Is he doing that with Op? I wonder. That's what my question is, because he went with 5.1 because that was the standard. I wonder with Oppenheimer, with Dolby Atmos really coming into its own, I wonder if he mixed this in Dolby Atmos.
I bet he does.
I wonder if he knuckled under and went Dolby Atmos.
Right.
I'll find out when I buy it on 4K when it comes out, because
that's gonna be a day one buy.
I haven't watched it yet, so no spoilers. Does the bomb go off? Wait, hold on.
In the house, I did bring that up. What's up, Mr. Caveman? Thank you so much. Caveman says, nice fresh cut, Rich. You no longer qualify as a scruffy nerf herder.
That's me.
Spicy saying hey to everybody, and Harrison saying hey. There's a whole bunch of back and forth. Everybody loves everybody. And then Harrison finishes off with VHS. That's the way to go. But
it used to be, man. It used to be.
Yeah,
VHS used to have high definition too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm a sound snob. I've got to have my audio the way I want it, and
don't get Dave on a soapbox.
Don't get me on my soap. Don't get me on my pedestal, because I'll rant, and we don't need a lot of that. So, I love it, Evan. Let's get to your first movie. The lowest average score between the two of us, not necessarily our lowest scores, but on average.
Can I take a guess? Because I liked that last week.
Go ahead, take a guess.
It's going to be a good year.
I'm also just a girl standing in front of a boy, asking him to love her.
That was going to be my second guess.
It's not a good year.
This is all Dave's fault.
I bet you.
But I'm telling you, this was the first time watch, and I really liked this movie. I am not a Hugh Grant fan or a Julia Roberts. I can't stand either one of them. But this movie, my mind just went blank. I'm sorry. This movie
That's
really.
because of the movie.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. This movie really just hit me. I don't know if it hit me at the right time, but I had fun with this. And don't judge me, David. I want to get this on Blu-ray. I would like to add this to my collection.
More power to you, brother. This is the one that I did not finish watching the first time I saw it. I started this movie, and there's this song at the beginning that is just horrendous. And there's, the whole Julia Roberts, I'm so famous. No. And I shut it off. I never finished it. So I did it. I stomached it. I went through it. It's not bad. It's a good movie. It is just not my thing. I am not heavy into the romance stories and stuff like that. I know Rich likes that. Totally cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny. This was a pick. This one was a pick for Rich, and I'm not surprised what you're saying, David. This was actually a secret pick for Rich.
I told you, I really did.
Yeah, he did. He called me and said, "I'm just a girl." A boy.
No, dude.
I was like, stop right there.
Because Hugh Grant's just this normal, average Joe, and he falls for a woman that's just stunning in this movie, and he doesn't feel like he is good enough, and that's very relatable, in real life.
Yeah, K-Man loves it too. I totally more power to you guys. It's not my thing, but it's a good movie. I finally finished it, and it's good. So I can give it a good score and stay objective, and at the same time tell you that I'm not going to watch that movie again. But and same time,
thank you for watching it one time. I'll take that. Take that.
I got to say though, I chuckled a couple times. I liked Reese Ifans in here as the roommate, and that's where I remember and I didn't know where that was from.
Yeah.
That scene where he's outside in his underpants and the whole paparazzi's like taking pictures of him and he just poses. I dug that. I
didn't know what that was from either.
That's the movie right there for me. That's how I felt. Underpants, flexing. That's how I felt. But Game says Dave just wanted more Bruce Willis. Bruce Lee maybe, but I don't think Bruce Lee would have been in the movie. I did like the Alec Baldwin cameo.
I didn't expect that.
And then I was like, what the heck? And I just watched him on a submarine earlier.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm like, what are you doing in Julia Roberts' room?
And Alec Baldwin was playing on The Joke, because remember around this time with Kim Basinger, right? Who was he married to? Was it Kim Basinger?
Yeah,
he just was going through. And so he got a lot of like tabloids written about him, and this was a movie he was just playing into those tabloid rumors. So it's kind of like an inside joke for him too. So it's just kind of funny. Look at that. I love this movie.
Yeah. The bookstore cracked me up.
The bookstore, the fact that it's just
It's a
travel
travel-
book.
It's a travel book. And the guy walks in and goes, "Do you have any John Grisham?" It's like, dude, that's a novel, right?
And who picks
and I
a
was like,
bookstore
okay.
to just sell travel books? I mean, it's
Yeah.
so specific. It's fun.
Yeah. And then, and then at the end, he's just like, "Get out. Just get out. I don't even be in here right now. I don't even want to deal with that." But yeah, I really thought, and like I said, this is first time watch for me, finishing it. I really thought that that's where it was going to end, where he told her no.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I would have given it a better score because that
Really?
wouldn't have been what I expected.
Oh no.
And
I
I was
love.
like, "Oh, that's so sad. It's so devastating." And he was just like, "Can I just tell you no and leave it?" And she was like, still smiling. She's like, "Sure, I guess." And
See,
then
I like that press conference scene.
Dude, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I was like, okay, Sappy, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, it ends the way that all love stories end. You know, boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy finds girl, done. Only in this way, Julia Roberts is kind of, I'm just gonna say, psychopathic in the movie. As a star, she's very like quick to judge, and apart from being who she is, I've never been famous, so I don't know what it's like, but I get that. It just, I could see where Hugh Grant's character would just finally go, I can't. You've broken my heart so many times because you're psychotic. We're just going to say no. And
what I love about this movie, it reverses the roles, because normally it's the guy doing those type of things compared to the girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Dave is just a boy who doesn't like happy endings. I do, but you pay double for that. Hey, Rich, come to Des Moines so we can see the movie in the IMAX theater.
I didn't know there was
and
an
what's
IMAX.
up, Jay? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Jay.
I
might have to take you up on that offer sometime.
He's close by. I would have to fly, and no.
Well, wait a minute. Before we get started, Evan, why was this a secret pick for me?
Why? Because I think you're secretly a softie, and this is a good movie on its own. Like, I know, but
you're right. I am. I'll admit it.
Everybody knows that.
And you said, and I think you've mentioned you didn't like Hugh Grant before in another stream,
right.
And I go, this is a perfect Hugh Grant movie. I didn't know about the Julia Roberts, so that's new to me. I don't know how you dislike Julia Roberts, and I've been rewatching her movies. She's actually a phenomenal actress that I don't think I gave her credit to. And the fact that she started at 19 and playing Pretty Woman and doing all these roles, it's amazing, her career. But to me, this is one of those like chick flicks movies, right? Chick flicks, but it's just a solid film. And I thought for myself, if you don't like Hugh Grant in this movie, you're never going to like Hugh Grant. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I think it's a stand-up film for you. Because I want to say, like, months ago, you mentioned you didn't like Hugh Grant. I don't know what context. Yeah, and I literally
put in. We did that one with Jason Statham. We talked about that movie.
Okay. Yeah. So I
put in the back of my head. You picked this.
So, but I just love this film. I think it takes all these tropes and just does it perfectly. All the chick flick tropes and just says, this is how you write it. It takes all like the cheesy music and says, how do we pick perfect music for it? I mean, when Rowan Keaton comes on with When You Say Nothing at All, when they're walking through the park, if your heart's not melting, you're just a cold-hearted person.
David.
No.
But I think it also, just for me, if you have that sort of someone in your life where you can connect, you know, with that story a little bit.
Yeah. So, but and I just love, who doesn't want to run into a superstar and then have them fall in love with you? You know, like for me, it would have been Natalie Portman. You know, she's just now getting divorced again. So, but I'm married, happily married. But I'm just saying, like, oh man, you get what I'm saying? You run into them and you're like, can you really love me? Right? That's just a dream for every man. And I just think it plays out perfectly. Some of their conversations are just so real, and that's why I thought I was hoping for David to maybe like it a little bit more, because I just feel the dialogue is believable, and like it's just, and some of it goes cheesy, but it goes cheesy. I just feel like it goes cheesy naturally. Like we're say cheesy things in real life, and we say stupid things, and I just felt like this stuff fits it. Like took all the points of it. And then the scene of going for the last brownie. I mean, how do you not love that scene? And having that guy burn and not realize who she is. Oh, you're an actress.
Yes,
how
I
much
love
did
that
you make?
scene. When she leaves,
To go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
Go to the loo.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So, I guess.
So, K-Man says About a Boy is a great Hugh Grant movie that weirdly reminds me of my childhood.
Okay.
Okay. Jay saying what's up to everyone. And everybody doing good. And everybody doing good. So, okay. So let's get to the scores for Notting Hill. Oh, but first, I do want to say that it was made in 1999. Had a budget of $42 million.
Oh, wow.
Mostly because of, sorry.
Well, that's okay.
Mostly Julia Roberts got a payday on this movie.
Yeah. She made bank on this.
For a female actress at this time, I think she was the highest paid actress.
Yeah, I think so too. Anyway, worldwide box office totals $363.7 million.
Come on.
So everybody liked this but me.
I don't know how I'd not seen this movie. I mean, like I said, I don't like Hugh Grant, but I hear people talk about it before, and yeah, I don't know, man. I'm glad. I want to get this movie in my collection. So, Evan, it may not make my top 5. It might make my top something.
It made my top 5 in my heart for you. So
top 5 is it made his top 5 out of the 5 movies that you presented. Yeah. So,
wow.
So getting to the scores, Evan, the first thing is the cast, and the cast score is strictly about recognition. So if you recognize the actor by face and name from before this movie, they get 2 points for each person. If you recognize them just by name or face, it's 1 point, and that is a cumulative up to 10. So what do you think you're at as far as cast goes here?
I'm at a 10 because are we counting Alec Baldwin? That's a name.
Alec Baldwin, because I counted him.
Hugh Grant, Natalie. I mean, not Natalie.
So you got Natalie Portman on your mind.
Natalie Portman on the brain.
Julia Roberts. I mean, that's 6 points, and I watch a lot of British shows, so I noticed a lot of those cameos and actors from there. I don't have them all by name, but if you think about, that's 5 there, so I would be at the 10. I would have maxed that out on this one.
Okay. All right. And then the next category is for acting. Now, for acting, it's basically how good the acting was for the cast. So you gave the cast a 10. Was the acting spot on for everybody, or did somebody kind of drop off a little bit? So generally, if you give a lower cast score, you might give a higher acting score because you didn't recognize them, but they did a good job. Otherwise, if you do recognize them, but it seemed like they phoned it in, you might lower the score a little bit. So what do you think as far as the acting goes on a 1 to 10?
I love everyone in this. I'm going to be honest. This was a hard one because I was like, am I going to just give 10s to this? There's 2 movies in here that I'm afraid that I'm like, I might be a little too biased. Can I step away from my love of this film? But I'm trying to figure out who didn't like deliver a line or do anything. I can't think of it. I just love everyone. I mean, everyone played their role perfectly in this. I mean, even the guy who's when he's going in to be from Hound and Horse, and the guy who says, "Oh, you forgot she stole your flowers." I mean, that guy just was perfect with his lines. I mean, I think everyone knew what they were doing and knew what role they were playing. Even Alec Baldwin coming in and saying, I need to be the nicest douchebag in the world, and I'm not going to know how much of a douchebag I am. And he played it perfectly. I'm going to go with 10. Sorry.
At Hugh Grant's facial reaction in that scene. Oh, man, I felt that. I was like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean?
Just the montage of them falling in love, like with his glasses and the goggles. And he's never pompous, where sometimes like a big name could sometimes come off as. I believed he was a guy who owned a bookstore on Notting Hill. Like, I believe that. And I thought that was amazing for Hugh Grant, and especially at the time, because he is at his height of these movies. He could have phoned this in so much, but he gave his heart to this. So I can't figure out a fault. I know. I might be a little too biased on this one. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to try.
It's okay to be biased.
Okay. Okay, you should have seen Rich with Into the Spider-Verse.
I was all biased.
I was like, come on, you got to give me a 9 somewhere. You gave me 1 9. Everything else was 10s.
Well, you're going to probably make me give a stupid low score when you get to Internet Movie Database little write-up that they're going to be lame on. So that
I'm hoping to bring you down a peg like that. And speaking of which, let's go to the plot. So the plot basically is, I am going to read the synopsis, the default one on IMDb for this movie.
I'm going to call foul.
Based on that and that alone, maybe the trailer. If you've seen the trailer recently, you can add up to a 2-point bonus for the trailer. So based on that, not knowing the cast, not knowing anything else, how would you be willing to watch it on a scale of 1 to 10? How likely would you be to watch it?
I did not read. I was so tempted to read all the Internet Movie Database plot things, but I did not. So these are the first time hearing them. So
okay. I appreciate that.
I went to YouTube. Watch the trailers of all the movies to be refreshed. And I did the theatrical trailers because I'm a nerd. And so, but I have not heard the plot, so I'm ready to be pissed off. Okay. Because I scream at the screen going, that's not what would be written on the back of the box.
Nope. And I would normally do the back of the box, but I don't own a few of these movies. So we have to go. The same for everybody. Right. So Notting Hill reads, the life of a simple bookshop owner changes when he meets the most famous film star in the world.
Is that it?
That's it.
Most famous film star in the world. Life changes.
Not for me. I would have passed on that.
Okay, so I would have for sure saw it. I'm going to see this film because, as I said, one of my dreams is to run into a movie star and just have them fall in love with me. So this is like, I'm going to be drawn to this story. But it's a little lackluster. There's not a lot of to the nuance of like. I would say for me, based on the writing, it's going to be around a 6 or a 7 because that's a pretty lame one. If I had to judge it just on that, it's not very. What do you mean change his life? What, like, he doesn't even say fall in love. Like, falls in love and changes his life. Like, if it would have that, I would give it an 8 or a 9. But it doesn't have that, so it's gonna. I'll go 7.
Okay.
Are you happy now, David? You knocked me down. There.
I gave it a 4.
So did I.
There was no way I would watch this.
I give it a 4.
I'm seeing it because I want that to happen to me in real life. Well, not anymore. I'm happily married. But when I was a kid, in 1999, the thought of that happening to me was on the current. My head was on the swivel when I went out in public to look for Natalie Portman because I knew if she met me, she would fall in love with me. Confessions. This is confession night. Watch out, David.
Confession night.
Confession time.
Testimonial
on the
from
Hi-5.
Evan.
And just, yeah.
Caveman says, I also love Mickey Blue Eyes. Great Hugh Grant comedy. I did bring that up earlier. Caveman also says 280 Westburn Grove, which is famous blue door, which has been auctioned off, was filmed as the location of Hugh Grant's apartment in the film Notting Hill. Interior set was built in a studio. And there he is, spouting the knowledge. Miss Caveman says, do you have a free 5? And I'm thinking that's like the hall pass where you have 5 celebrities that you're allowed to speak with.
Oh, yeah. It's Natalie Portman. I only have one.
Natalie Portman, all 5?
And Natalie Portman. Oh, yeah.
Natalie
And
Portman.
want to hear something sad? I'm going to tell you the story. I'm at Disneyland. We're driving home. Literally got in my car that morning, driving home. I get a text. Natalie Portman's in the park today.
No.
I'm leaving the park, and Natalie Portman was in the park. I know.
Wow.
My wife. Yeah. No.
You're like, I couldn't
No,
have
my
my
wife-
pass.
I know. My wife knows my love, but I love her. I probably wouldn't even use it because she's perfect, and Natalie Portman's not. I know by me knowing her, kind of following her in her personal life, I don't think we'd be compatible in real life. I just, I saw The Professional, and I was a kid, and I just fell in love with her, and I've been following her career ever since.
I like how we
So-
threw he was a kid in there.
Oh, because I say that now. I say that now, and people freak out. I go, dude, she's like 2 years older than me.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. She was 12. I was 13. Come on. All right. So the next thing is the ending.
Fame thing isn't really real.
So with the ending, it's how did the movie close out? Did you get everything answered that you wanted?
Oh.
Was there anything left open? Did it end the way that you want? Did you get the closure you wanted? What would you give that on a 1 to 10? I'm just going to go ahead and put a 10, but if you're going to change that,
It's a 10. It's a freaking 10. When they're in the park and spoilers, and she's pregnant and he's just reading the freaking book.
Oh, yes.
How do you not love that?
Yes.
it's 25 years old. Spoilers are out the window.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything older than 10 years, you can spoil.
You have the chase scene.
I did think that was cute when it because there was a whole thing with the bench and the old couple that had their name on the bench in the earlier part. And then they're laying on that bench together because she was like, what would it be like if we spent our days, just
and
on
you
the
get
bench
the double
together?
life because he's going with her to the premieres. So she's having this, I get to be me and have this Hollywood life, but I also get to be me and have this quiet life with you. And and there was no words to say it. It was using film and imagery to give you that story. How do you not love that? That's what I love about this film, because you get so many in romantic comedies. Let me just tell you everything. I'm going to tell you everything you got. But when you have movies like When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle, You've Got Mel, and Notting Hill, I call the 4 perfect films where they actually use the medium of filmmaking to tell a story. And I just love all 4. And this one is just perfect. How do you not? The chase scene and everyone and the excitement and him trying to figure out what kind of cartoon name she gives, and it's just fun. And you have that callback with the House and Hound, when he says that thing. It was just perfect. Rich, you gave it a 10, right?
No.
Oh, whatever.
I gave it close.
An 8?
I gave it close. I gave it an 8.
Yeah, there we go. I'll take that. And David, what do you give it? What did you give it? A 4?
I gave it a 6.
I'll take that. That's over 5. That's over 5.
Because it ended exactly how I thought it was going to end. It would have been an 8 easy if it had ended with the no, and then but that would have been sad. And I get that's not the way.
It's a whole different movie.
But that's the way love is. It's not the way the movies are. So, and that's the thing, because I brought that up, is like fame isn't really real. And that's kind of what the ending is about, is fame isn't real. Fame is just over there. But moving on to the next category, which is the story. So where the plot is essentially the seed of the movie, the story is the forest. So beginning, middle, and end, were there any slow parts in the story? Did something branch off and didn't give you anything in the end? What would you rate the total story on a 1 to 10?
It's hard because if I rate it in the time of the movie was made, it's a perfect. But in today's term, the only thing I wish we had a little bit more of, so I'm going to give it a 9, is
Okay.
the time period of him going to the set and hearing that, and then her coming in. I wanted a little bit more between those two scenes, if you know what I mean. Something
Okay.
something a little bit more substance than just I hear this and then let me give you my good speech. It's a great speech, but I think we needed something a little bit more on Hugh Grant's side to get more how he was truly feeling about
Right.
what happened. A
That was
simple
heartbreaking.
it was heartbreaking, but like a simple more conversation, like not really talking about it, but talking about it with his coworker. You know what I mean? Just a little bit more. So that's where every time I watch it, I go, but at the time, you didn't have those movie lengths. You didn't have that time.
Mhm.
They were very much strict to those shorter
Yeah.
time periods. So that's why I'm going to give it a 9 because that's a personal want.
Okay.
Watching it so many
Makes
times,
sense.
but almost
Yeah, and
everything
this
else,
yeah.
or you
Now
going to say
this
something?
movie just barely breaks the 2-hour mark. So it's 2
Yeah.
hours and 4 minutes. And I don't think this is one where they were like, yeah, we don't want to go any longer than that. So yeah, there's not a lot of filler,
Mm-mm.
which I think is okay.
It
But yeah,
doesn't
there's
feel
not a
like a
lot of
2-hour
filler
movie.
to kind of pad the numbers a little bit. If you had an hour and a half movie, then yeah, you can pad it a little bit with some character development and a little bit more stuff. But yeah, no, I totally get your point there. And um there was something I wanted to add, but I totally forgot. So I'm gonna just move on to the next category, which so the first 5 is basically kind of like your feelings toward the movie itself. Now we get to the technical aspects of the movie. So the first thing is the script. So what did you think of the script for this on a 1 to 10?
To me, it's a 10 for the type of film for a rom com of the '90s. Can you really get anything better? Because it takes the subject. Because don't if a lot of people remember, I don't know, we're old. At the '90s, we have all these big films because of how successful Sleepless in Seattle was. You start getting these just cheesy rom coms, and they end in between the she's all that to your Sleepless in Seattle. Like you have what's that? Never Been Kissed. Yeah, but they all have these cheesy elements that never like go. This is a serious story. Oh shoot, am I gone? Am I
No,
back?
you're good.
It's
Yeah,
all
Oh,
you're
I
good.
good.
just okay. Um, serious like takes the subject matter seriously, and I thought that this script says, let's tell a real story. What would really happen? And like when Julia Roberts and Hugh Grant are laying in bed, and she shares the story that you go to sleep with the actress, but you wake up with the real person. If that doesn't
Yeah.
bring you down to reality and hear the heartbreak of pinning your pinning yourself into actors and actresses side of fame, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's right there is just heartbreaking. And watching her face drop when the media's in front of her. I mean, I think the script deals this subject perfectly. So it's a 10 for me.
All right. The next category is the visuals, and this is combination of cinematography, any visual effects, camera shots, whatever. What did you think of I guess the picture, the total picture of the movie on a 1 to 10?
I'm trying to think. I mean, the scenes when he's walking through Notting Hill, especially changing the weather with the song "Ain't No
That
Sunshine."
was my favorite part.
Holy
Bar
cow!
none, that was my favorite part of the movie is when he's just walking through and the seasons are changing.
And I know you mentioned you didn't like the song at the beginning, but it's just every frame is telling a story. Every frame is being used. Every song is being used. Every is getting you in the mood of telling you what it is. No, nothing's being wasted. It's a 10.
And it does a good job of getting you in that mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're just talking about visuals. Audio is going to come later, but we're just talking about visual.
If you take that scene with them walking and it looks like it's one shot and it's not, you can't. How can you not argue that? I mean, it's beautiful.
I definitely threw a bonus point in for that because that was my favorite scene.
Yeah.
All right, so we're putting you down for a 10. Now we get
guys.
to
Not so exciting.
Yeah, so we're getting into director, and this is Roger Mitchell is the director of this. Done some other movies like My Cousin Rachel, Enduring Love, and Venus. Blackbird is recent. Morning Glory. So he's got quite a few. Changing Lanes with Samuel L. Jackson.
Lanes. Is Blackbird the Thor movie with Chris Hemsworth?
No, that's Black Hat.
Oh, Black. Okay.
That's Black Hat.
Come on, Turner fan.
No, this is Blackbird is Susan Sarandon, Kate Winslet, Mia Wachowski.
Is that the first time ever hearing about that movie? Is anyone else? I've never heard of that movie.
I've never heard of that movie.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah, a terminally ill mother arranges to bring her family together one last time before she dies. So that's what that movie's about.
Okay. Sounds like an uplifting movie there.
Yep. So compared to his other works or compared to other movies of the genre, what would you rate the direction here on a 1 to 10?
I'm going to give it, to me, the question I have is who was the cinematographer? Because sometimes I know, like, we give all the credit to the director, but sometimes that cinematographer does a lot of pre-work and do that. And that's where I don't know, is this a director that just pretty much got a great script, got a great cast, got everything handed to him and said, I just have to say point and shoot the camera? Like, I don't know. I don't know if how creative did he come up with the one shot, or was that written in the script? You get what I'm saying? Where did these every creative idea of this movie? I don't know where they came from, because I didn't you don't hear.
I don't think anybody ever will.
Right? No. So, but he doesn't do anything.
Featurette where the guy's like, I didn't have to do anything.
but I never won. So it's hard. I'm gonna give him a solid 8 because when I see his other films, the camera work seems to move the same. He's no special director. He just says, I'm gonna work. He's one of those guys who Hollywood goes, you could probably knock out a movie on budget, get it done. And he got hired. I mean, I saw Changing Lanes. There was nothing special on that. So
yeah.
So, what's up,
Chris? What's up, Chris? Thanks for joining us. All right, so the next thing is the music. So this is the soundtrack, the score, sound effects, if it calls for that. What did you think for the audio? I'm just going to call it audio. What did you think of the audio here on a 1 to 10? Because you had talked about how the music fits with the movie. So talk a little bit about that and give us your score on the.
You could guess my score. You could all guess.
I've already written it down. I'm just going to let you go.
I love the soundtrack. I'm a Ronan Keaton. I imported his albums because he's British and he didn't really have American albums here. Boyzone, he was in a band Boyzone. I go on YouTube and watch their live concerts. I'm gonna say I'm a boy band fan. NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. I love all that kind of poppy stuff. Take That, Robbie Williams. So you have Elvis Costello with She. I don't understand how you hate that song, David. That's the opening one. You have Ain't No Sunshine used perfectly in the song. Yeah. I don't think there's a bad song and bad use of music in this song. There's the sound effects of the car chase were fun. It's a 10. I can't knock it. Sorry. But
No,
you did
totally.
ask for top movies, so here they are. I'm gonna love them.
No,
right?
and totally fine. Now, I expect your scores to be higher than
Higher,
ours
yeah.
in most cases. I would be surprised if there's something here that one of us scored higher than you, and that's where I'd be like, oh, okay, let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah.
Because I gotta tell you, one of the movies on your list is probably one of the best movies I've seen in a while.
Ooh, I don't know
And
what that is.
it was a first time watch for me, and I was like, that movie was awesome. So I can't wait to talk about that.
That's a big cookie for me.
It's gonna be later in the show. The last category is the wild card, and the wild card has to do with the genre of the movie. So this is technically classified as a comedy. It's basically a rom-com. And you said that this was like, and I'm going to call it Mount Rushmore because that's going to come up in one of the questions. This is like, you said it was like one of the Fab Four, like perfect rom-com movies.
Yes.
So is this a 10 for a comedy, or do you drop that down for just the genre?
Okay, so
we're
here's the issue.
Comedy.
Just comedy. You have to take the rom-com out of it.
Take the rom out of it, just the comedy.
If it Gus goes to comedy, it does drop because it only fits in the rom-com. The way the humor plays out is very into that subgenre that was in the 90s. Like, it's very hard to tell people, like, when you go see this movie, how much of a refresh of this in its time period when it came out, if that makes sense. But if I'm going off of, hey, let's watch a comedy and put this on and how much we're going to laugh, it's a solid 8, but it's not a 10. I think we're all going to laugh. You've mentioned it. The roommate's funny. His coworker's funny. There's enough funny scenes in there that I think everyone's going to get a chuckle. So it's not like a bad comedy, but it's not like a Mel Brooks kind of comedy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. And there were some parts that I chuckled. I was like, okay, that was pretty funny. Yeah, Reese Funds, he cracked me up. Eating the mayonnaise, and
the bathroom scene when she's in the bathroom, that made me laugh.
And he comes back,
and
he asks him if you're not going to go.
And then
to the room.
And I chuckled with the brownie thing, and because she's trying, and the guy's like, "Oh, shut up! You're not. That's not gonna work." You know, I was
her,
like,
the acting in that scene and watching her become so happy that she's not being treated special makes her so joyful, and you see it in Julia Roberts' face. So I watched this a while ago because I was in the movie club and I picked it, and that scene was like, oh wow, Julia Roberts. And that's when I kind of went back and started to look and take a more serious look at her acting, and I've been pleasantly shocked about how well she is. Because I was kind of writing her off. She's just a person who's in a lot of my movies, but man, she's great.
Yeah. And speaking of great, let's get to the final scores that you have, or that we have total on Notting Hill. So IMDb is giving this a 7.2. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 84%. Audience score 79%. Rich and I both gave this a 68.
Oof.
And I like Evan, your score for Notting Hill is a 92.
Sounds right.
Oh shit, man!
These movies are going to be high. I do love these movies.
And as you should, you picked them.
Yeah, these are your picks, so it's totally fine. Movie Hunter's in the house. What is up, Movie Hunter? Also, Huck is in the house. Huck, thanks for joining us. So, all right, and then they're saying hi back and forth, so I'm going to put that up. All right, so we're getting into the second movie in the countdown, but first, your second hot seat question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
My seat is up.
Question number 2, what is your go-to movie snack or beverage for theater and at home? Now, you said you don't really care for the theater, so when you're watching your movies at home, do you have a special snack or beverage that you partake in? Nothing.
Nothing. Don't you eat during my movie. I don't want to hear you smacking. I don't want to hear you
I don't like to hear people chewing and
Evan, you were speaking my language. I hate hearing people eat. If you can't eat right, you're gonna get punched in the face. It annoys me to no end. You don't need to smack your lips.
My wife and kids, when we do movie night, I then eat something, Cheez-Its with Junior Mints or something like that. But if I go watch a movie, I'm watching a movie. I'm not there to snack out and watch a movie. And I have a hard time too. So there is a rule in my thumb: when any death or anything evil going on screen, you cannot be eating during those scenes. Because I don't want something joyous to be happening when something bad's happening. I don't want us to become numb to those things. It's a weird rule, but it's one in my house. So
I get it.
Yeah. So that's it's not for me.
No, Evan. No.
Harrison goes, I love slipping my icy and crunching my popcorn super loudly.
So what we're saying is we're never seeing a movie with Harrison.
So
exactly.
Even though you guys are going to be working together, it's not going to be in the same room.
No.
All right. So let's get to our number 4 movie in your Hi-5.
I think it's a good
and
movie.
It is.
My God, she's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this movie wasn't. This is okay.
Okay, so this was my rom-com, my unspoken for David.
I liked it.
I'm winning on my picks.
Yeah. Dude, I always get the icy when I'm in the cinema. Pepsi flavor. Daughter goes for cherry. K-Man, just go Evan. So dude, I think you're 2 for 2. You gave one secret for Rich. Rich liked it. One secret for me. I liked it. So yeah, you're batting 1,000 so far, brother.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm excited. Yeah, because this is not your typical rom-com romantic movie. It's different. It's different. But this is the one I probably will not score as highly as, like, it won't be perfect in. But I love it.
Russell Crowe did this for a paycheck.
No, Russell Crowe did. Oh no. No way. Russell Crowe did it because Ridley Scott, and I think Russell Crowe just wanted to make a different type of movie.
Like, this is a Ridley Scott movie. He wanted to be in a Ridley Scott movie.
Yeah, I just think they're friends, and they said, let's make this. Russell Crowe looks like he's having so fun in this movie.
See, I didn't buy him in this.
Oh, whatever. Can you mute Turner now? Can you just mute him?
We're going to say goodbye to
I'm going to say I'm a bias. I love Ridley Scott. I love Russell Crowe. I love when they're together. And the perfect one is when Denzel Washington. So American Gangster, can't get anything better. So, yeah, but I'm a big Russell Crowe fan. So I don't see like scary haunting movies, but I saw like The Pope Exorcist because Russell Crowe's in it.
That's the reason why my wife liked it, was because of Russell Crowe, and he had his little humor in there. So yeah, she liked Pope's Exorcist, and she is not a horror movie fan at all.
I really enjoyed it, but I think Russell Crowe was the reason why.
Yeah, no, I have no doubt. Now I'm not a huge Russell Crowe fan. I do like him. I think he's a solid actor no matter what. I mean, I love Gladiator. I think everybody does. But I liked him in Quick and the Dead. Virtuosity.
Oh.
And I enjoyed this. Now, right off the bat,
I saw that.
Yeah, I know, because I did recommend Virtuosity for him to made Rich watch that, and he's like, that was okay.
Yeah,
whatever.
I like him in Robin Hood.
But my shining star was Marion Cotillard as I'm going to say the love interest. But I thought she was fantastic in this movie.
Oh.
Yeah. And I didn't expect that. And she's from, Dark Knight Rises and Allied with Brad Pitt is another one I liked her in. So this was something outside of what I've expected from her, because I have never seen this. So So what? Well, I guess you already said that, but was there anything special besides picking it for me reason why you picked this movie?
I just love it when I see actors and directors that go outside their genre, that they tried something different, and I think this was filmed in Ridley Scott's vineyard, so it's just them having fun, and I just love this movie. I think you could see it, and I love the story. It's a romantic movie it's more on the drama side than it is on the comedy side, but it has humor. It doesn't take itself seriously, but it's for me to introduce someone else who says Russell Crowe's just an action guy, and I say, oh, watch this movie. Ridley Scott just does sci-fi macho movies. Oh, watch this movie. So to me, I just love it.
Okay, nice. All right, so this film is from 2006. It had a budget of $35 million, made $42 million in the box office, and I found $10.3 million in video sales.
They were all for me.
All for me. A-Man says I love Russell Crowe on Law-Abiding Citizen. I don't like Russell Crowe because he broke up Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid.
Was he in Law-Abiding Citizen?
I don't think that was him. I think that was Gerard Butler.
Is he talking about the one where he's driving the car? That one?
Unhinged.
Came out of the Unhinged? Is it Unhinged? Because that might be similar to that.
Yeah, that was one that Rich, you recommended for me.
Mm-hmm.
Was Unhinged, and I really enjoyed that.
And that's
where I watched it.
That's where we were.
Because Meg Ryan what was that movie? He was playing Proof of Life. That's the movie, Meg Ryan and them. But supposedly Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid were already fighting, and supposedly Dennis Quaid had an affair already. So it is what it is. Everyone's grown adults, and they have to do what they have to do.
Yeah. They're all full-grown people. So, this was a pleasant treat for me. I enjoyed this. Also a very young Abby Cornish in this, who was very cute in this movie. And there was, surprisingly for me, I recognized a lot of the cast. I was like, oh, hey, I know these guys. So speaking of cast, Evan, what was your cast score on this? Who did you recognize? What would you give?
By name, it's only going to be Russell Crowe by name, but there's so many people. You have the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean. You have and then his grandfather. I remembered him from Bourne and stuff like that. So I'm a solid 7 because there's a lot of people I just recognized them as actors, but I didn't know the names. So those are 1 points each, right?
Yeah, those are 1 point each.
Yeah. So you got your two. I would say 7.
It was so funny because I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, Freddie Highmore, oh, Albert Finney, oh, Russell Crowe, Marion Cotillard, Abby Cornish, and I was just like rattling. I'm like, okay, I'm at 10, I'm out. I'm like, so I was at a 10 for the cast because
I'm doing this score based off of when I first saw it, what I recognized. Now if I put it in, I can name them all. And
that's kind of a I guess a blessing on my end because I'd never seen this before. So this was my first time watch, and I was able to recognize these guys right off the bat. Miss K-Man says I love Ridley Scott's versatility from Alien, Blade Runner, and then Legend and Thelma and Louise. Yeah, I like Ridley Scott. I'm a fan of his work.
But I've never heard of this movie till now.
Yeah,
it's a one that came out.
But I always thought, and maybe it's the cover, maybe it's the poster. Because
the cover is great. I love the one you picked.
Not this one, but there was another one where it's Marion Cotillard sitting on his lap, and I thought he was in that one. Yeah, I thought he was in a wheelchair, and I was like, I don't know if I want to see that.
You picked my favorite cover, so I'm very happy for that one.
Oh, good, yeah, because I was like, I like this cover because he looks like he's happy. So, okay, so what did you think of the acting here on a 1 to 10 based on the cast?
I'm gonna give it an 8, and that's only for what's her name, the blonde that comes in.
Yeah.
Is
Cornish?
the daughter.
The daughter, yeah, that's Abby Cornish.
I think she's just getting her feet wet. She wasn't terrible, but when you're standing next to these giants,
Yeah,
her noviceness of acting is just shown through. There's certain times she's just whining. It's like going, do you really need to deliver it that way? So I'm losing 2 points because I think everyone else just plays the roles perfectly. But she I thought was the weakest point in acting because she kind of just shows up, says her lines, and moves on. But she's like really new to the acting scene. She didn't do much before this that I can think of.
No, I didn't. I don't think anything before 2006. I don't remember her, but yeah, since then, Sucker Punch, Geostorm. She's done all kinds of recent stuff, and her acting's gotten better. So I like her. But
Rich, what did you think?
Like, oh, she's so cute in this.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, she wasn't very good acting wise, but that wasn't the point of her being there.
No.
Really. And and I like the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean.
And he's the wine guy, right?
Yeah, he was the whiny lawyer guy.
He was the lawyer.
Yeah.
Well, I thought, who's the guy that grew the wine or grew grapes?
I don't know what else he's from, but he's good.
I dug him.
His friend
about his.
Yeah, he was hilarious, and his wife. I love his wife. No.
Yeah, I liked those guys.
To me, that's another where the acting goes well because you feel like these people have the history, and then when Russell Crowe comes in, it doesn't. They're not saying like they're saying lines, and that's why when she comes in, it just throws it off. I feel.
I agree.
It just goes off.
I agree with that.
Okay. Well, yeah, I just she's supposed to throw a wrench in the works because he was like, he thought he was the only relative. All of a sudden, there's the daughter that shows up, and he's like, "Is this going to mess with my numbers?" And this is 2006, so it is 17 years old. So I don't feel too bad about spoiling some of this, but I think this is worth a watch, you guys. If you haven't seen it yet, I enjoyed this a lot.
It's on Hulu.
On Hulu right now. And speaking of enjoying this a lot, let's go to the plot. So
let's see how Internet Movie Database ruins this one too.
Here's what they say. A British investment broker inherits his uncle's chateau and vineyard in Provence, where he spent much of his childhood. He discovers a new laid-back lifestyle as he tries to renovate the estate to be sold.
That's actually not terrible.
Not horrible.
No,
did a pretty decent job.
I'll give that a solid 7.
Okay.
That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought a rich guy inherits thing that he wants to sell.
Yeah. Rich asshole inherits a vineyard and tries to get rid of it. Yeah. The end.
I don't remember what I gave it.
You gave it a 4.
Yeah.
And I didn't give it a good score either. I was like, this seems like another rom-com, and I watched Notting Hill, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm in the mood for another one, but I'm gonna do it. So I actually gave it a 5 because I was like, I'm just kind of I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. It wasn't bad, and I was just like, okay, cool, vineyard. Mamma Mia came to mind, and I think that's why my score dropped a little bit. But I'm
from the Napa. I'm from Napa Valley, so vineyards I know a lot about them.
Vineyards are a thing, yeah. I mean, I'm from Stockton originally, so I'm kind of, we've gone to Napa Valley quite a bit. So
I'm from Iowa. I know about corn.
I know he knows about corn. We know about corn too. But where I live now, there's actually a lot of vineyards going in the southern part of the valley.
Yep.
So that's kind of cool. Over, between where I am, south of Fresno, as you go east toward the coast, there's just like 25, 30 vineyards going all the way through. But let's get to the ending for this. So what do you think of the ending on a 1 to 10? Did you get the closure that you wanted? Did it answer all your questions?
Yeah, it's a 10 for me. I thought it was a perfect ending for what we got from the movie. So I enjoyed it a lot. Did you guys? No?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I liked it.
What did I give it? I'm looking. I give it.
I think you
that's the
gave it a
wrong one.
7.
Yeah, I give it a
or
6.
You gave it a 6.
Yeah. You knew how it was going to end, just like this. I mean,
Yeah, and that's what I wanted. I mean, sometimes that's what you want. You want,
yeah, I agree.
yeah.
But I'm going to point to Notting Hill. They did it better.
I liked the. I'm not
going to argue.
I'd argue a little bit. I like the foreshadowing with him forging his uncle's signature when he was a kid, and how that led to the ending. I really enjoyed that because it was subtle, and I dug it. And then it ends up going to the cousin, to the daughter, which is how he felt it was intended, and I dug how it ended. I was totally cool with it. Now to get to the next category, which is the story. So what did you think of the story on a 1 to 10?
I would say it's a solid 7 because I feel you it doesn't find it has it's trying to find its feet sometimes of what kind of story. Are we going to lay more into the comedy? Are we going to lay more into the drama? How are we going to tell this story? And so it's a great watch. I love it. I love the story, but if I'm being objective, it's a solid 7. It's not perfect in any way, so I'm going to be honest. Okay.
So I gave it.
Yeah. What did you give it, Dave?
I gave it a 9.
Whoa!
I like the story. I like how it played out. I love that it was trying. I like that it didn't know that it was a comedy or a drama, and it kept me on my toes. And the comedy I really enjoyed. I also like the drama. I also like the drama parts of it. All the characters that were involved. Yeah, it really came together for me as a story.
Yeah. I think some of the weak points
it was a 9 for me.
They didn't use, when they did the flashbacks of his life, they used that very little in his future. I wish they did a little bit more of pulling his flashbacks to his reality a little bit more.
I did like the whole chess thing in the beginning.
Yeah.
Which totally led to how shrewd he was business wise. And I dug that. I would have liked more. And then there was a little bit with the tennis match.
Yep. I wish every flashback had
where he lost. And then when he took on the vineyard grower, the grape dude, when he took him on and he won the match, he did a little dance.
Yeah.
And
when we have those flashbacks that play out in the future, it's perfect. But there's a couple of flashbacks where we didn't get the payoff. They were just there. And I was a little disappointed in that.
Yeah. I will say though, the kiss between Fanny and Max when they were younger. At the end, there was a payoff there with that flashback. And that kind of led to the ending the way that I liked it. So yeah, I agree with that. I think they could have done better with the flashbacks to tie them into the present. But there were a couple of really choice ones that I liked.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the script. So what did you think of the script here on a 1 to 10? And I can see how this kind of coincides with the story a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say between a 7 or 8. I'm going to put an 8 because I actually thought the dialogue was fantastic.
Yeah.
Because like the dialogue of real conversations. I mean, not once did I say that conversation is only happening inside this movie. So I believed every word that was said. Because, like when you watch a movie, that conversation only could happen inside the movie because it needs to happen. But none of these conversations technically need to happen. They just happen.
Even when he's doing the stock exchange stuff, see, I thought that felt very forced. I don't know. I thought it was very cheesy. I don't know. I didn't like that.
I thought it was more real than Wall Street. So
that's the parts I didn't like, is when the guy he was feeding the information to, he felt very, like, I don't know, just
fake
dumb.
and cheesy, because to me that's tying to his character, because he doesn't know who he is at that time. He was faking him because he's running away from his old life, so he's fake and cheesy. So when he's talking to his friends like that, he's not being real with anyone, because he doesn't know who he is. And through this process, he finds out who he is, and that's when he becomes real.
Oh, see, I didn't look at it that way.
Well,
So,
I like that, Evan. Well said.
Yeah, I do too.
So let's go to the visuals. What did you think of the cinematography, visual effects here?
It's a 10. I loved the way this film looked. To me, this is one of those ones that if I want to escape the world I'm living in, I'll put this one on, because it's just, to me, so beautiful.
Nice.
And then remember, I see vineyards all the time, like all the time. So the fact that I find these vineyards beautiful is a nice telling. Because I hate the wine business, because
I was going to say, I was going to say, you're from Napa Valley. For you to say that this vineyard was beautiful,
oh, I love it.
You can kind of take that to the bank, because you see these things all the time.
And I think you see that because I think Ridley Scott's passion. You could see how he decides some shots, and it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, and that it was filmed at his vineyard, so of course he knows that place like the back of his hand. So he's like, I know exactly where I want this shot. I know exactly where I want the limestone to show up, to be there. And speaking of Ridley Scott, what did you think of the direction here on a 1 to 10?
I loved it. I thought I'm giving him a 10 just because it's not your typical Ridley Scott. And I just love that he tried something different. And I give way more props to any artist that goes out of their mode. So any musical artist that says, I'm going to try something different. And I give you bonus points. If I wasn't given those bonus points, it's an 8, but he gets 2 bonus points for just trying something different. And this doesn't typically feel like, it wasn't like, oh, let's take Ridley Scott's style and then make a romantic comedy. It was, let's make a romantic comedy and let's kind of shoot it, but with a real serious director. So it's a 10.
Nice. Okay, now the audio. So what do you think of the music here? The score, the soundtrack, the audio effects. What would you give that?
I'll give it an 8. It's nothing bad, nothing special. I don't think I walked away remembering anything, but nothing took away from it. So, I didn't remember anything being annoying. So it's a solid 8.
Yeah. Okay. Last thing here is the wild card. And this was a little bit tough for me to choose whether this was a comedy or a drama. So
I didn't see it as a comedy.
I saw it as a drama.
Well, why does it get categorized?
It's according to IMDb, it's categorized as a comedy drama.
Oh, it's both?
With romance. Yeah, comedy, drama, romance is what it says. But the first one is comedy. And I don't think that's the primary thing. I think this is a drama.
To me, it's a drama first.
Yeah. So I ranked it as a drama. So what would you give this on a 1 to 10 as a drama? Again, taking the romance out, just as a straight drama.
It's an 8. I would say it's an 8.
Yeah, that's what I gave it.
I gave it a 7.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's
not bad.
This is one on your list I probably won't ever revisit.
I bet you will. You're gonna get
This
in the
is
mood,
one that
and
I
you're gonna
probably
want
bought.
Russell Crowe rocking through vineyards trapped in a pool. I mean, where else are you gonna find that? I mean, this is the one when I first saw it, I did not love it. And then one night, I'm like, what kind of movie do I want to watch? And I grabbed it off my shelf and I put it in and I just fell in love. I just was in love with it. First time I watched it, it was good, but I didn't love it. You know what I mean? But boom, put it again and I just fell in love. It was just it's a perfect midnight watch. You can't fall asleep.
This was fun. I enjoyed this one a lot. This would be one where Rich would probably get Notting Hill. I would probably get a Goodyear. And
yeah, it's so funny. You did a great job, Evan.
You did a great job.
You did
for us.
These were my hitting picks where I'm like going, I want them to be exposed to something different. And so I'm actually so happy that the ones I picked for you, you both liked. So
yeah.
I'll take that one.
All right. So let's go to our final scores on a good year. IMDb is giving this a 6.9. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 26%. So disappointed at that. Audience score 65%. Rich, you gave this a 63. That's your lowest score. I gave it a 76. Evan, your score is an 83.
Not bad.
And takes fourth place. All right. Huck says, hey, Rich, I found a Chasing Amy Criterion DVD at a thrift store today for $1.
Nice.
So my Kevin
Watch
Smith
out.
collection continues.
Good job, Huck. I'm good. I wish I would have kept my DVD of Chasing Amy. I sold it in a yard sale because I had the Blu-ray, and now I wish I would have done that. So good find, man.
Do they have different special features on there or something?
No, I'm just an idiot, and I have more copies than I need of multiple. Especially with Kevin Smith movies, I try to get just different copies. It's a weird thing.
Yeah,
it's okay. You're a weird person, so.
Yes, he is, and that's why.
Oh, Evan, there it is.
I need a counterpart to my weirdness, and I was like, Rich, you're just exactly what I need to help me cancel my weird, because I'm a sick bastard and he's weird. So together we are the faces for radio, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I got to step away for just a second. I'm going to bring up hot seat question number 3 and have Rich ask you, and I will be back in just a second.
All right. Hot seat question number 3, Evan. Besides the movies in your Hi-5, what's one movie you could watch on repeat right now?
I only get one.
You can tell me 3. Give me 3.
Okay. Godfather.
Okay.
And I literally just watched it a couple months ago. I'm about to put it
You
on.
have the 4K?
Oh yeah. And I love that Francis Ford Coppola, because he gives you every single special features. So as you go into the special feature, it goes, here's the DVD special features, here's the Blu-ray special features. They give you everything they've ever given before. Any kind of special feature on different, they'll give it to you. It's amazing.
Really?
So I can really get rid of all my copies, because I don't like carrying multiple copies except for special features. So like I have a Citizen Kane DVD. I never bought the Blu-ray, never did it, because I had one disc that has a little movie about a documentary about making it. I bought the 4K. I took out my bad Blu-ray that I was in, and I put in the special feature, and I put the DVD in my garage. But the second one is a movie that a lot of people seem to hate, but I love, and was kind of like my movie of 2020 during COVID, just made me happy, is Yesterday. Have you seen that?
Oh, I love Yesterday.
I love Yesterday. I could put it on right now and just be happy, and it will be joy. And then the third one is All the President's Men.
Okay, I've never seen that one.
I know. I wanted to pick it for you.
Yeah.
I love that movie. So those are my movies I could watch anytime, anything. And let's be honest, if you put on Batman Begins, I could watch that too. Yeah. My wife got so annoyed from it, because one time I watched Batman Begins on DVD, and then I turned it off and it was on TV on HBO, and I sat there and watched it again. Because then you literally just watched it. I go, yeah, but it started and I needed to finish it.
Right?
And it's one of the only movies I saw 10 times in the theater.
10 times?
Oh, dude. Oh, man, I love that movie. There you go, Spicy Godfather.
Yeah. You know, I haven't seen Godfather in years.
I am still waiting for them to release the TV cut. Have you heard about that on TNT? So it's a 9-hour movie and they add different scenes. Have you guys seen The Godfather?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen The Godfather,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so remember the guy who puts the bomb in his wife's car in Italy?
Yes.
On the TV copy, you get to see Michael take his revenge out on him and kill him.
Oh.
Yeah. I've just read about it. I've seen clips on YouTube. It's just aired on TV. It's never been released to physical. So what they do is they edit the movie in chronological order. So they take Godfather 1, 2, and 3, then put it in chronological order.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was released to Laserdisc, but I could be wrong. But yeah.
I never heard of that.
Oh, dude. It's a white whale to me. It's a white buffalo. What's that Pierce Brosnan? No, what's that? Not Pierce Brosnan. What's his name from Death Wish?
Charles Bronson.
Yeah, did you ever see the White Buffalo movie?
Where
he hunts the white buffalo? It's coming to Kino. I was just talking about it, and then Kino's doing it.
Sounds familiar. I think I've seen it, but it was a long time ago.
It's the whole, remember when Orca was coming out and all that? It came out during that time where he's a hunter on the search for a white buffalo. I was a sucker for those movies as a kid. All right.
Let's get into our third movie, Evan. What do you think it is?
I'm gonna go Hunt. Hunt for the rest.
Once more, we play our dangerous game.
Yeah, Hunt for Red October is the number 3 movie on the list. So what was it that made you pick this one?
I love Jack Ryan's character, and I think Alec Baldwin is the perfect Jack Ryan. And
Oof.
oh, don't you say anything. So I've read the books, and I've seen every single Jack Ryan iteration. And Alec Baldwin gets the I'm smart, but I also could kick your butt, but I don't need to kick your butt into it. So, but yes, Caveman, I have seen that. It was good.
I've not seen The Offer, but I've heard good things.
20th, you need to see Chasing Amy. Do it right now. Go rent it.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
See, Huck knows where it's at. Hunt for the Red October is great. It gets the tone. I just love the movie.
I love this movie.
It was.
I love this movie, and I was sitting there watching it, and Rich and I were talking about it, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I know that when I didn't realize that it was a Jack Ryan until after I had seen Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. Then it was like, oh, Hunt for Red October is a part of it. And I'm like, oh, wait, that's a Jack Ryan movie. So then I went and read all the books and got all caught up. And I was like, okay. But I absolutely love Hunt for Red October.
And here's my thing I'm going to say about Clear and Present Danger and Patriot Games. Those are great Harrison Ford films.
Yes.
They are fantastic Harrison Ford films. But they are not fantastic per se Jack Ryan films. They definitely got Harrison Ford and said, let's make this fit your style of acting, your storytelling of the 90s, and put you in it, which are fabulous, and I love them, and I watch them over and over. And Sons of Our Fear with Ben Affleck fits that better, and I feel like Hunt does not technically, even though it's the first one in this quad, whatever it's called, it just feels better for what Jack Ryan represents of the thinking man who uses his brain to figure this all out. So, are you going to say Harrison Ford's the best Jack Ryan, or are you going to, right? Rich?
No, I'm not a Harrison Ford fan.
Oh, well.
And I mean, I appreciate
you
what he
talked
does
about it, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Rich, but you like Shadow Recruit, the Chris Pine one.
I like the Chris Pine one, but I like A Quiet Place dude as Jack Ryan.
Right, I was gonna say John Krasinski. I enjoy the Jack Ryan series a lot.
I enjoy it, but he walks around like he's about to take a crap. Look at his face half the time. He looks like he's pooping. And that's the thing that drives me nuts in that whole show.
What's up, Michael?
What's up, Mike?
Hey, Michael.
Was running errands, getting my kids ready for school next week. Yeah, school's getting ready to start, brother.
So I like the story. They get the storylines right, but I don't feel John is not acting it right in it. That's my issue with it. I feel I haven't finished this one, but I think they're getting it finally right. From the first 2 episodes I saw. John Krasinski. Yep.
Dude, that's what I feel about Alec Baldwin. He sucks. I mean,
speaking of Mike, Mega Mike, the movie man, and some of my favorite people, and Dave. So yeah, let's.
I don't know how you just said Alec Baldwin sucks in this movie. I don't know how to do that.
Maybe that's strong. He wasn't believable to me.
I think.
I have a question. Can
I think, and I don't know if you agree with this, Evan. I think you said something to those lines. That I think Alec Baldwin's character of Jack Ryan plays closest to the book. To me,
it gets the character right and the balance of it.
Character right. I like Harrison Ford's movies the best, but they are the least adapted from the books.
And I don't need my movies to match the books, but I want them to get the characters right. And I'm a historian. I like that stuff. And so the idea of having this guy who's really smart, but also being an action hero just intrigues me so well that when you lose that, because if you notice, like even in Harrison Ford's, it's like, oh, he teaches the class. That's it. He doesn't really think. He maybe reads a piece of paper that gets printed off. Where you feel but with Alec Baldwin, he's putting together the pieces. Yeah, and without him, you can't do it. So to me, yeah,
that's what I like. He profiled, the captain without,
he used his knowledge to figure this out instead of having the knowledge let fall in his lap. Like and I think the movie just gets that right. I have a question about the Alec Baldwin thing. Is it because of who Alec Baldwin is today, threw that off to you now because he kind of plays that kind of stick later on?
No, I never thought he was a good actor to begin with. I haven't seen anything that he shined in. You know what I mean? Where he feels the same way in every movie.
I wish that I had another Alec Baldwin. I had another Alec Baldwin movie on my list originally too. I had 2, The Shadow, and I just love him in that movie.
Yeah, I love him in The Shadow.
He's the cheesy, like The Phantom. Have you seen The Phantom?
Oh yeah,
it's like it's in that vein of The Shadow. Yeah. Who knows what evil looks in the hearts of man? The Shadow does.
Mega Mike says, like you all. Some of my favorite people. You are all great. Thanks, Mike. And Sarah's in the house.
Hey,
what's up, Sarah?
How you doing?
Hunt for Red October is more of a Connery movie than an Alec Baldwin movie. I believe Sean Connery probably stole the movie, but I really like
the only interesting part for me.
I like Alec Baldwin.
If you read the book, he's the main. Even in the book, they're equal 2 parts. So. You like Affleck and
I was like Affleck is Some of All Fears.
Some of All Fears.
Yeah, Some of All Fears. Yeah.
And Harrison Ford
the bomb,
and Sarah saying hi to you, Evan.
Hello.
How was she went on a cruise,
it's not new in the chat, but it's his first time actually on the stream, which is awesome.
Didn't Sarah go on a cruise?
I think Sarah went on a cruise. Sarah, are you back from your cruise?
Sarah.
I hope you had fun. Baldwin has seemed to be the go-to B-level actor. Okay.
I agree with that.
Thursday night. It came in. Ooh, Baldwin was dope in The Shadow. Alec Baldwin is great in Team America.
I don't like Team America.
I don't like Team America either.
I don't like Team America. I'm just not. That's not my thing.
I laughed once through it, and then I watched it again, and it's like not funny. It's definitely a one-time watch. It was
That's
not.
the puppet movie, right?
Yeah.
Dip. I'm out.
Yeah. Dip.
You hate puppets?
Like, yeah, once you burn the brain cells from the first time watching it,
I guess you
it's
hate
gone.
Pinocchio too, huh?
No, I liked the Guillermo del Toro one.
Oh, I hated that one.
I hated the remake. With
Oh man, I
Tom
hated the
Hanks.
Disney
I hated
one.
that one too. I hated both.
I like the original cartoon.
Yeah.
I love the original cartoon.
Tom Hanks dropped out of my number 1 spot because of that movie. For my favorite actor. He's no longer my favorite actor.
Wow. All right.
Him and his fake Italian accent. All right, so let's go to the cast for The Hunt for Red October.
It's a 10.
And I was gonna say, is it not a 10? It's got to be a 10.
Every 90s actor's in it, even the ones I don't know by name. There's enough of them to make it a 10. I mean, if you can't if you cannot get a 10 on this question, then you didn't watch any movies from the 90s and 80s.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to do the numbers on Hunt for Red October. So The Hunt for Red October is from 1990, had a budget of $30 million and made $200.5 million in the box office. So that was pretty solid.
And don't.
All right.
I was going to say
Tom.
I'm just going to say Tom Clancy wrote this, and this was published by a naval institution publishing it was not a wide published book, and it got sold for movie rights. And then by the time the movie is made, his 5 books dominate. Like, he's one of the only authors to have all 5 in the top 5 best books.
On the bestseller list, yeah. I remember I was like, holy crap, dude. I got to read these books.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get to the acting score for this. What did you think of the acting on a 1 to 10 here?
I'll give it a solid 8. Not everyone's perfect. No one's terrible.
Yeah,
I
think Rich and I both gave it 8s too.
I think it's an 8.
I thought the acting was solid, but yeah,
I give it an 8.
There was definite overshadowing where it was like, okay, it was really there was Sean Connery, Alec Baldwin, Scott Glenn, and I was like, and then it kind of trickles down after that. Selling
about Tim Curry in this
somewhere. But yeah. All right, let's go to the plot.
Submarine is hijacked.
James Bond hijacks a sub. No.
Watch, they're going to get confused and put Crimson Tide. Denzel Washington
and Gene Hackman star in this. So it says in November 1984, the Soviet Union's best submarine captain violates orders and heads for the U.S. in a new undetectable sub. The American CIA and military must quickly determine if he's trying to defect or start a war.
That's it. That's a good one.
That's not bad. That's pretty solid.
That's a 10 for me. But that's perfect.
Oh yeah,
that gets me watching a movie.
I was in.
I'll check it out eventually.
Yeah.
It didn't even say Alec Baldwin in the name. Come on. You have no clue.
No. All right. So the ending. So what did you think of the ending here on a 1 to 10?
I love it. I laugh because you lost another sub. Just that last conversation.
Yeah, you lost.
Really? Again? Like, how do you not end it perfectly on that conversation? And knowing that the plan played out perfectly. You know what I mean? That they have no clue that the Americans have their ship, so it's perfect for the movie, right?
What's the difference between the ending of the movie and the book? Is there a big difference?
No. And the book plays out by day. So it literally says this day, da 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 da, this day, da 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 da, this day, da 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 da.
A journal. Yeah, it plays like a journal. Yeah,
like a captain's log or something.
Yeah, captain's log type thing. And you're not getting too much of what's happening in the mind. So you're just getting details of what's happening, and you're getting very little play-by-play of what Jack Ryan's thinking, or what you're just saying. Okay, he does this. You know what I mean? So it's a totally different vibe. So if you read like Patriot Games, which is a prequel, just to let you know, but not in the movies, it's technically a prequel in the books. It writes totally different. It writes like a typical novel at that point.
Yeah.
So Hunt for the Red October is very technical. So he's like, when he's describing the subs, he's giving you lots of details that you're like, okay, I get the gauges. Great. They're this color and they do this. So, but no.
Yep. Okay, so just to confirm, for ending, you're at a 10, right? Yeah. Okay, thought so. Sarah says, did anyone miss me? Of course we did.
Yes, we did. Of course we did. We missed you in our chats.
Yep. Mike says, that's right. Wrong title. He says, that's a good one. IMDb didn't do it dirty. No, we actually did a good job with that. You get some whoppers, boy, I tell you. So speaking of whoppers, let's go to the story. What'd you think of the story here on a 1 to 10?
It's my cup of tea. I can't ask for anything more perfect. I love this as an 8-year-old. I watched this as a kid, and I remember showing it to my friends, and my friends going, "Why do you like this movie? It's boring." I'm like, "Oh, I love this. It's just it's a 10 for me. I love this movie. What can you go wrong?" I don't know. I can't. I remember I pulled it off I was at my grandma's house and grandpa's house, and I was bored, and I saw it on the VHS, and I pulled it off and I stuck it into the TV and watched it there, and I just went, "This is amazing. Can I take it home?" I took it home and rewatched it that night. So it's my cup of tea.
Yeah. I like it.
Rich.
All right. So what'd you think of the script here? Rich is,
are you awake, Rich?
I'm awake.
Yeah.
he can't wait to get to the other two movies.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of the script here on a 1 to 10?
Like I said, when you're saying let's make an espionage kind of not action movie but fun, that it clicks all my, like 3 Days of the Condor. Like, these are boring, slow burns. They're not like they're all talky. Tinker and the Sailor, whatever that title is, I can never remember the whole thing, where it's all talky, right? So it clicks my boxes. It's a 10 for me. It hits. And what I love about the script, it takes the best of the book, but doesn't have to stick to the book. And so it's a perfect adaptation for me. Mm-hmm. And by the way, this was picked for me. I just love this movie. It was not going to be on the list.
It's been forever since I've seen it.
Yeah.
I think there was a reason why. But hey, we always say all film is subjective.
All film is subjective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rich is getting sick again.
Mike.
Notice how Mike showed up and he started to like look sick. Well, maybe it's him, huh?
That could be it, Evan. That could be it.
Yeah, that's why I had to sign off just for a little bit early, because I'm the one not feeling well.
No.
You caught my
no, I was stung by a scorpion. So
what? Were you really?
Yeah, it's giving me some problems.
You just don't drive. Oh, hey, I was stung by a scorpion. How the hell that happened?
Look where he lives. Sorry.
It was in the shower. It was in the shower. I stepped in the shower and it stung me on the bottom of my foot.
What the fuck?
People in California, it's not
never go to your house. No, there's too many things that can kill you.
He's not even gonna sprint to the house anymore. He's just not coming.
Yeah, no
you got
way.
Stuff in the house?
You got stuff in the house. You got stuff outside the house. Just no.
When I grew up, when I had to go out and play, if moving a rock, because I lived out in the country on a half an acre land, stuff, a rattlesnake could just be there.
Nope. Well, I mean, we get rattlesnakes here, but no.
We've run from many of snakes, thinking they were lizards, and you're like, oh shit, better start running.
No, I usually kill 1 to 2 rattlesnakes every year because they're just too close to the house.
You think the rattle's going to tell you? They're silent, just to let you know. And if you start hearing the rattle, they're already pissed, and you're probably dead. So you're
already too late. If you hear their rattle, it's already too late.
Just staying in the car. Okay,
It's just gonna stay in the car. Spicy says you must live around Fresno, Bakersfield, right in between.
No way.
So, yeah. All right. So let's go to the cinematography on Hunt for Red October. What do you think of the visuals here?
I love it. It's a 10. And I'm going to tell you my favorite scene. They're speaking Russian, and then they zoom in on the mouths, and they start to speak English.
Yes.
And then they zoom in. So you now know, even when you're watching them on the Russian sub, they're still speaking Russians, but you're just going to hear it in English. So you don't have to do the subtitles. And back when the 90s subtitles were very hard, very expensive to do.
Was it really?
Yes, because they have to print them on the film and type them.
Yeah, they had to manually. Yeah, they had to type.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's why if you notice, like in some Star Wars prints, they don't do Jabba subtitles. That's why you have C-3PO always repeating what Jabba said, because they didn't want to pay for subtitles. Because it gets very expensive to do. So this was an ingenious way of them doing it, because now you don't think, oh, everyone's just speaking English. You just know it was a visually zoom in, zoom out, speaking English while they're reading a book. How great.
Yeah. Spice says, got a king snake that roams around my yard, keeps all the rattlers away. That's right. King snake is best. They actually will attack the rattlesnakes and take their nest. So
they're poisonous, right?
Rattlesnakes are, yes, venomous.
No, king snakes. Isn't there one?
Because I've been corrected numerous times. It's venomous. King snakes are not.
There's one that looks like a king snake, right? That's venomous.
Coral snake is venomous.
Okay, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
A king snake is black and white striped.
But there's I think red and black. But I think there's a king snake one that disguises itself as a king snake, but it might have some venom in it. But
that's what I thought. There was
I think it doesn't kill you. It just kind of numbs your arm and makes you kind of sick.
Yeah.
I want to say you're right.
The Black Widows here too.
Yeah. I came in. Wait, was I sleeping? A scorpion? What the hell?
Right? I'm never going to Dave's house.
Black Widows, brown recluses. Yeah, we got that too. But yeah, scorpions. We have a tarantula migration every fall, which is it's actually really cool. So the tarantulas walk across. They just and I've had them on my front door. They walk into the house.
No way.
One of them
fucking explode.
had one where a tarantula just came in through the air conditioning duct and just crawled right into the living room. My wife lost it. She was like,
packed my shit and left.
Out.
No way.
You're going to be the guy who burns down their house to kill the spider, aren't you?
Yes.
Spider. But then, and then we got the big creatures. We got the mountain lions and the bears.
Bigfoot.
That's just David in the mirror, dude. Don't worry about that.
Just here, walking around. Spice says, yeah, tarantulas, love them. Scares the shit out of you, but mostly harmless.
They got big ass teeth, don't they?
Oh, and I forgot cave crickets.
What the hell's a cave cricket?
I don't know what a cave cricket is.
You scared me, Dave. I never know. Can't do it.
No, the worst ones for me are the kissing bugs. And oddly enough, that's
the side of your mouth and shit.
Yeah, the kissing bugs, they go for the warm spot. They're like mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Only they're beetles. They're about like that big. And they basically crawl on you and they bite you and they suck their blood and they go off. But they have an enzyme that I'm allergic to, and it'll actually kill me. My throat will close.
What
I'm
the
like,
fuck,
it's
Dave?
like how people have a bee sting allergy. I have this allergy to this kissing bug, and sucks
You need to move.
because I was like,
You need to
I was
move.
bit like 7 times in 2 years, and I was like, shit, I have got to do something.
Yeah, it's called move, Dave.
It's called move. It's called leave. No, I am required to stay here. This is where I'm going to have to retire. So, all right, where were we? We're at direction. So, what do you think of the direction here for Hunt for Red October? And directed by John McTiernan.
I think he's.
Who also directed Die Hard. Yes,
I did not know that.
he directed Die Hard, Last Action Hero, Predator, Rollerball.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
I think it's
Basic
perfect.
with John Travolta, Medicine Man with Sean Connery, Nomads. So, yeah, I like this director.
I love this one. I love how he uses color. I love red, blue. We always know what submarine we're on. We always know everything. I think he did a perfect job. And it feels like, is this 1991?
1990 is when it was made. Yeah,
1990. It has that perfect feel of where taking the fun, cheesy 80s feel, but making it more serious. And this is that perfect movie for that.
Do you have this on 4K, Evan?
No, I do not.
I was going to ask you, how's it? I know Dave does.
I do.
I thought it
4K
was
was
on
nice.
Blu-ray.
I have a hard time when I have the Blu-rays to pay for that new first day prices for 4Ks.
Oh, dude, I don't do that anymore. I got out of that game.
No, I'm gonna wait for Black Friday and hopefully pick this one up and all that good stuff.
Yeah, well, I did not have the Blu-ray for this. I just had the DVD actually.
I have the
So
Jack Ryan
I
box.
went right to the 4K, and the Jack Ryan set that I have as the 4K and the Blu-ray. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed watching the 4K.
Yeah.
Although it didn't have Dolby Atmos, but I expected that. All right. So I'm sorry, did you give a number on direction, Evan? Were you going to give that a 10 or?
And yeah.
Yeah.
I love
10.
this one. Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna step away and grab
All
another
right.
one. I'll be right back.
Okay.
But all right. So music. What'd you think of the sound here? On a 1 to 10.
If we do sound with all the sound effects and stuff, not just music,
Yes.
right? Oh, then it's a solid
Right.
8. It's a solid 8.
Okay.
I can't read the music. Music was typical 90s movie music, nothing special, but the sounds of the submarine, I think, and the sound effects are phenomenal.
Yeah, I love the sonars, the pings and stuff like that. And that was the thing, they actually won the Oscar for sound effects editing.
Yeah.
For this movie. So yeah, that totally makes sense.
Spicy
said, Rich, Australia makes California look like nothing when it comes to deadly bugs and animals.
Nope,
Yes.
I would never step foot on Australia. You got shit in the water too. You got great white.
When you have the top 10 land poisonous thing and the top 10 water poisonous things, why are you going to that country? Why?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's 20 things that could kill you.
Yeah. So Caveman says cave crickets' lifespan is about 1 to 2 years. Cave crickets do not possess sound producing organs and therefore do not chirp. Additionally, the adults do not have wings, unlike other crickets. And Spicy says, do they attack? All right.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
On this
That's what makes
episode
me
of Wild Kingdom, Caveman, I talk about scorpions and Caveman talks about cave crickets. All right. So solid 8 for the music. And the wild card. So
what is this?
I have now this IMDb is calling it an action movie. I don't think it's an action movie. I put this as a thriller as the genre. Because of its intensity and the suspense of it. So total thriller for me. What would you give this on a 1 to 10 for a thriller?
A 10. As a thriller. If you're going to say an action, a 5. As a thriller,
I might give it a 6, but yeah,
no, as a thriller, it's a 10 for me.
as a thriller, yeah.
But I love this stuff, like the Pelican Brief. Like I said,
That's Julia
I
Roberts,
mean,
right?
yeah, and Denzel. Marathon Man is another great
I
thriller.
love that with Dustin Hoffman. I love Marathon Man.
Yeah. So
all right, let's go to our final scores on Hunt for Red October. IMDb is giving this a 7.5. Rotten Tomatoes critic score 88%. Audience score also 88%. Rich, you gave this a 71. I gave it an 85. And Evan, your score is a 96.
Ooh, that's a good one, man.
no, that's not a bad
That
score
is
all the way around.
I mean,
Yeah.
I scored it as best as I could, even though I'm not a huge fan of it. I appreciate what it is and what it did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no Princess Bride.
Not even how would you even compare the two?
Okay. So we've got 2 movies left. We've got 2 hot seat questions left. Let's go to hot seat question number 4, Evan. And that is, who would be on your Mount Rushmore of actors and actresses? So 4 favorite actors or actresses. You can mix or match as you see fit, but your 4 favorites that you would just, if they were in it, you would, besides Natalie Portman.
I was just going to say Natalie Portman.
Damn it. I mean,
you can pick Natalie Portman, but we all know that one's in there. So
Natalie Portman gets her own mountain, my friend. She
gets her own mountain.
Share. She doesn't share, okay?
There's Mount Rushmore, and then there's
Natalie
Portman
Hill.
Peak.
I'm actually, what's funny, it's going to be a couple of people on here. So Denzel Washington, didn't have any of his on here. Christian Bale, Russell Crowe, and then I'm going to say Julia Roberts, because we already know about Natalie Portman. Those would be my 4.
3 of those.
I think you need to revisit Julia Roberts. I think you should revisit some of her older
facial
films.
expressions that do it for me.
But look, go back and notice that though they usually match what she's doing, and she's pinning way more in it. Because I used to write her off, but I've gone back and rewatched. Have you seen Pelican Brief?
Yeah, I do like that movie.
Yeah,
I do like that movie.
Runaway Bride?
No, I seen it, but that's not for me.
Yeah,
see,
I didn't cover that. So Caveman says, "Spicy, no, they don't attack. But once I was given a sofa that had a nest of them. They're nocturnal and short and stubby and look like spiders. Woke up to hundreds of them in my living room apartment. Yow. Okay,
yeah, that's a horror movie, buddy.
A horror movie. That's
a demon couch.
Yeah.
That couch needed an exorcist.
All right, so we got 2 left. Which do you think of the 2 that are left, Evan? Which do you think is going to be next?
Almost Famous. Oh, that's suspense of who's walking in.
I guess
I'm shooting with Almost Famous too. I don't know the scores. I'm just as clueless as you are coming into these, so he keeps it secret.
I don't keep it a secret. I just, I have to do
He
all
just
the math.
doesn't tell you.
I just don't tell you. If he asked, I'd tell him.
No, I like the surprise. I do.
Yeah, he likes the surprise of it. So yes. Next movie on the list, coming in at number 2 is.
Isn't it funny? The truth just sounds different.
I love Kate Hudson in this movie.
And she could sing in real life too. Oh,
so it's Almost Famous.
She almost took Natalie's spot in my life after watching this movie. Just saying.
She says that sounds worse than Joe's apartment. Caveman says sorry, cameo time. Yes. I'm gonna say this was my favorite watch of the 5 movies.
Oh.
I absolutely love this movie.
The movie's fantastic.
Was it a first time for you?
It was a first time watch for me.
Wow.
I'd never seen
Did
it
you watch
before.
it in 4K?
No, I
Oh.
watched
It's
it on. Well, maybe it was 4K.
I have the Paramount Plus, or not Paramount Plus, but the Paramount Presents. When they did that was the Blu-ray and not the 4K, and it looked fantastic on that.
Okay, so when I said
So-
I don't buy 4Ks day one, I had this on DVD because I had the extended director's cut. That was the only thing. And when the Blu-ray came out, they didn't have that, so I don't buy it. And then when the 4K came out and said we're getting the 4K transfers of both of those cuts, day one for me. It was, and I watched it right when it came in the mail. Boom, popped it in. So this one's
How did it
one of
look
those.
in 4K?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Okay, so Almost Famous is from 2000, had a budget of $60 million, but only made $47.3 million in the box office. So it lost money, but it definitely has a cult following.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people.
Do you have the rental
like,
scores? Because I remember it was so hard to rent.
could not find rental scores. I only found rental scores for one of the 5 movies.
Because
What's up, Tiana?
Tiana's in the
Hello.
house. What's up, Tiana?
Because if you remember in the 2000s, like so many movies technically bombed at the theater, but made so much money in rental and physical media. I mean, Born Identity was one of them. That no one saw that in the theater. I was like the only one in the theater. And then when it came out to rent, it did so well. We got 4 or 5 more movies and a TV show.
Yeah.
That's how Kevin Smith has a career now. Is his
Yes.
movies do great on physical media.
Agreed.
Yep. So what was the story behind why you picked this one, Evan?
Because it has music in it, but it's not a musical. That's for you, David. I love musicals, and this was a way for me to pick something that we get some singing, but in a great soundtrack, but it's not a musical. And it's
Okay,
great.
I'm going to put a pin in this just for a quick second. You like musical. What did you think of the remake of West Side Story?
What did I think of it?
Yeah.
It was okay. David's out. David's out.
That was funny.
I enjoyed it. I liked In the Heights better as
I
a
have
movie.
that on 4K and I have not watched it yet.
But it's not a bad movie, but it didn't do anything more special than the original.
See, I have never seen the original.
And then go watch the original and realize that the rawness of the original is what makes that movie special. And this movie was too polished. Steven Spielberg made it too polished.
Okay.
And that was my issue with it because it didn't have the rawness of it. Where if you have In the Heights, it takes non-rough things and kind of polishes up for a good reason because they're kind of all living and saying everything around us is perfect. We don't need to move out, but we want to move out. So
I need to watch In the Heights. I have it. I don't think I broke the seal on it yet.
It's a great one. And the 4K is amazing.
Yeah, I think I got that for like $7, $8.
Totally worth it. All right, David.
Back to Almost Famous.
Music, but not a musical.
Music, but not a musical. Yeah, I thought this was fantastic. It definitely surprised me. And yeah, when I heard about this and saw stuff about it, I was like, is this going to be too much of a musical? Is it not going to appeal for me? So I really just avoided it. I was like, there's no way I'm going to want to see this. So when you brought it up, I'm like, okay, because I almost bought it. I almost bought it on 4K because I hadn't had it before. I'd never seen it, and it came out, and I can't remember if it was Arrow or
it was Paramount Presents again.
Paramount Presents.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the 4K came out, and I'm like, you know what? I might get that. And then I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. So I didn't. Now I'm kicking myself because I want to buy it now. I want it in my collection.
But you bought that one movie. that we reviewed not too long ago. It was just like it's what was it called?
You're talking about Skinamarink?
Yeah, you buy that.
Oh, is that?
but
Oh
you
man,
don't
that's
buy.
such ass. I felt so. The movie was so bad. Oh man, and speaking of, I got another Shudder movie that I bought that I need to watch now, and I'm like, I don't even want to tell you about it until I've seen it, and then we'll go. Then I go, okay, we'll put it on there if it's decent. Otherwise, I'm not even gonna mention it.
Not gonna make that mistake twice.
Yeah,
Not gonna
right.
make that. But I'm more. I love cheesy horror movies, and I'm
You do.
a big fan. The lower the budget, the better, especially with found footage, and that's what I had
agree.
hoped for Cinemarink, and it was horrible. It was not worst movie I've seen all year.
Yeah, that shit sucked.
Yeah, it did. It was so bad. All right, so let's get into Almost Famous. Starting with the cast. Is the cast a 10 for you, Evan?
Yes. I mean, so many people are in it. I knew
Yeah,
Billy
everybody
Cole
in their
from
dog.
the-
I mean, I was like, holy crap, Fairuza Balk and Anna Paquin, and of course
Even
Kate
when
Hudson and Billy
Jason
Crudup
Lee.
and a young Michael Agregano as the young kid.
Mhm. I saw it in the theater and I recognized
Yeah.
so many people in it. I didn't know the main actor when I first saw it because this is kind of like his first kind of thing, but I knew
Yeah.
so many people from other things because Billy Culp does a Prefontaine about the runner who the Nike shoes are created for and stuff like that. He does another version of Without Limits, or is he in the Prefontaine? He's in one of those movies because 2 movies came out at the same time telling that story. You know how Hollywood always does that. So I recognized him from that, and then Jason Lee was from Kevin Smith movies, and so there were so many people in it. Kate Hudson, I knew because it's Goldie Hawn's daughter and stuff like that. I don't remember if I ever seen her in anything, but I knew her brother and I knew who she was. So, yeah. Not Russell Crowe's daughter, though. Remember that.
No.
Yeah. Not Russell Crowe. What's his name? Kurt Russell's daughter.
Russell.
Not his daughter. So it's a 10 for me.
Yeah. Okay, so what did you think about the acting?
That's look at my scores.
It's a 10. I'm trying to figure out, even when the kid is doing lame lines, he's lame and he's a kid. He's supposed to be awkward and lame, and I don't know if he meant to be acting that way, but it fits perfect for the movie. And Philip Seymour Hoffman, even though he's in it for like 10 minutes, he kills it. I mean,
I thought he was great.
He had the flu the whole entire time. He came in and just did this. So, yeah.
Michael.
Mike says, I love this movie. There's about a lot of 10s about to go around.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Speaking of 10s, let's go to the plot.
Music.
Okay, here we go. A high school boy in the early 1970s is given a chance to write a story for Rolling Stone magazine about an up-and-coming rock band as he accompanies them on their concert tour.
Not terrible.
Not terrible.
It's okay.
I'm gonna say it's not an 8, but it's not a 6. It's a 7.
That's what I gave it.
What did you give it, Dave?
I gave it a 6.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I was not interested.
See, if I would see that now, I'd be like, oh shit, maybe he's gonna follow Kiss around, because I'm a Kiss fan, and I'm in,
Yeah.
But
no, I wouldn't have even known what band they were gonna follow. It was like
that's where my mind would go. There's a chance.
No.
And
As
a kid, I used to go to concerts all the time, and I would be the guy who would meet the artist. And like one time, they were mostly Christian bands. I ended up riding roller coasters with this band, Burlap to Kashmir. That was a pretty big Christian band in the 90s. And then I got their emails, and then it was so funny. I said they were coming up to Great America up here in Northern California that did a Christian like festival. And they said, "Hey, Evan, are you going to be there? We know you live around." "Oh, I can't go. I can't afford it." And he goes, "Well, we'll get you tickets and we'll get you one ticket and come in." I go, "Well, I don't drive." He goes, "How many tickets do you need?" I go, "Well, if my dad drives me, then my sisters have to go." He goes, "You could have 5 tickets." So we walked up, I got my tickets, and my sister, I remember we're in the front row, and they go, "Evan, do you really like know the band? Like, or did they just like give you free tickets?" And the drummer comes up and goes, "Hey, it's Evan." I went, "Yeah, they know me."
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
So that this movie would have piqued my interest because I literally, like, I know a lot of people haven't seen concerts and stuff. Like one year I saw 60 concerts. I mean, so I used
Wow.
to go all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I mean, just indirectly, I've been to a bunch of concerts because I work for the hotel that runs the concerts for the county fair. So
Yeah.
I would have to go and I would get free tickets to all of them. So yeah, I saw Charlie Daniels Band and Milli Vanilli to go and
You
polar
didn't see
opposite.
them in concert. You saw them do something, but you didn't see them in concert.
They sang. There was no lip syncing going on. They
You
sang.
saw them later.
I saw them later. They sang and they were bad. They sucked. But yeah, I
Girl, you
can't.
know
I
it's
don't think I
true.
was anywhere close to 60 concerts in my life. But I
Yeah.
did. I've gone to some really good concerts, and I've been to some
But
really terrible.
it was the '90s. I didn't like always see the big name bands, so they were $20 tickets at like a small venue in Concord in San Francisco and stuff like that. So I saw Switchfoot. Like do you know that band Switchfoot? They're a pretty big
Nope.
band now.
Yeah.
For one concert they called us because they needed a ride from the airport and I picked them up. And they were a 3-piece
Yeah.
band at the time. They were just a small little band, and now they're huge and selling out stadiums, big concert venues. But I was just one of those people that just knew things. I don't know if you know like David Crowder or Dave Crowder Band and stuff like that. But no, it was like that. I'll just meet people and say hi and sneak in the back and because I was friendly and I talked a lot, so I ended up meeting people in the front who just then meet me in the back, and I would just hang out with the band, and all of a sudden I got their number and we're hanging out. So it was just my life.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Caveman says to look like a real rock band, the 4 actors in Stillwater rehearsed for 4 hours a night, 5 nights a week for 6 weeks. And to continue with the knowledge, Cameron Crowe is married to Nancy Wilson. Also filmed Elizabethtown, an hour away from us, but was mainly filmed in Louisville. Mike says, man, this came out at the right time for me because even today that plot gets me excited. All right.
Yeah.
Caveman with the facts tonight, dude.
Yeah, right?
He's
Taking my role, dude. What is he doing?
Yeah. Somebody's got to cover for you.
He's doing a great job.
Let's get to the ending for Almost Famous. What did you think of the ending here?
Okay, so what did you guys? Which version did you watch? Did you watch the bootleg version or the original theatrical?
The original theatrical.
Okay. I think it was the original theatrical. Yeah, it was whatever Paramount Plus had.
So I often watch the bootleg that just gives you just a little bit more. Not much, but just a little bit more with the ending. It's about, I think, 20 minutes longer than the theatrical. Most of it's up front, but this ending just gives you, but I loved it. I loved it that the spoilers about, he's trying to get Penny Lane's number, go see Penny Lane, and he gives the address to him to make amends. Perfect. Because when I first saw it, I wasn't expecting that. I thought we were going to see them fall in love and that he kind of was the linchpin for them to fall in love and get that right. And the fact that we get that, I was pleasantly surprised when I first saw it. I don't know about you guys. Did you guys expect it?
I did, and it was really interesting because it was having the phone conversation. She goes, she goes to get the address book to get an address. And I'm like, I know she's not giving her own address because she would have it. And then as soon as the cab pulls up on the side of the road and you don't see the house, I'm like, I know I'm going to see the
right
kid's
from
house.
the house. We know, yes.
I knew right from the bat. Once he got out of the taxi, I'm like, he is not at her place. He's at his place. And then as soon as it panned and you see the front of the house, I was like, dude, totally cool. Yeah, I like the ending.
Yeah,
I like that.
when she first pulls out when I first saw it, I saw it in the theater, and she pulled out her address book. I thought it's because maybe she was at a friend's house. She was somewhere else because she's, we never really know much about her.
Mhm.
So it was easily a trick on me. I didn't think too much
Yeah,
about
I
it,
thought
and then
that
when
too
it
a little
happened,
bit.
yeah. So
Yeah. No, it seemed like she was comfortable where she was. It didn't seem like she was ever uncomfortable
yeah.
in the movie wherever she was at, but it just seemed like that was her place to me. It just
And I
just,
love when the sister opens the door, or was it? Yeah, the sister opens the door, right?
I think the mom did.
Yeah, the
Mom does,
did.
and then the
mom.
sister's in the house.
The sister's in the house and she's all,
Oh, yeah.
who is
And
this guy?
I love that the brother runs into the sister and the sister says, I got to go take care of this. Like how it all kind of comes together randomly, fits the story, but it makes sense. And he's trying to repair the mom and daughter's relationship while Pennyline's trying to repair this relationship. It's just
You know who doesn't? I like the mom in this.
the mom is perfect.
She does really, really
does
good.
an amazing job here.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when she points to the record. They're on pot.
Yeah. Or when she dropped him off at his first concert. I like that, Jim.
Yeah. So just to let you know, like when there's a scene in the bootleg where he's in the shower at school after gym, and everyone's shaving their, like, combing their mustache and looking like men and growing hair, and he doesn't, and that's when the conversation happens. I don't think that's in the theater. You get a little bit more of him feeling, why do I not fit in with my classmates?
Yeah.
Part. It's a good scene.
Because that's on the Paramount Presents Blu-ray disc.
Yeah. And you get the 4K. It's completely redone.
What's up,
Hey,
Nate?
what's up, Nate?
Nate's in the house.
Hey,
This is a collection of guys. Yep, it's a pretty old collection.
Mm-hmm. With the geriatrics.
Yes.
Because Evan turns 40.
Shut up.
Yeah. Evan turned 40. He turned, we had to throw him out.
Yeah.
All right, so is it a 10 for the ending?
I don't know what else I could ask for. Yeah, it's a 10. Sorry. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. I was pleasantly surprised. So I'm happy with that. I'm often not surprised at the end of movies, and I was on this one.
Yeah. All right. So what'd you think of the story? On 1 to 10.
It's a 10 for me. I don't. It's a life. I mean, come on. Kid traveling with a band, hearing great music, a writer. I've always wanted to be a writer, because I'm dyslexic. And so I didn't learn how to read until I was 18. I couldn't write. I couldn't do a lot of things. So when this movie came out and I'm seeing it in the theater, I still don't know how to read. So this comes out in 2000, you said? Right?
2000, yeah.
So I'm 17, not knowing how to read. So think about that. And so I just loved watching this kid do that. And so, I now know how to read, worked hard. I actually have a master's in American history, so
that's fucking
my
awesome, dude.
nice. Yeah.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, it worked out. I was told I had someone tell me at a very young age I wasn't going to succeed at anything. I wanted to invite her to my party for graduating with a master's, saying, "Screw you. Look." Yeah. I'm just lucky I had people that believed in me along the way and fought for me in the courts. Because my parents used to have to go to court dates for me, to fight for me to get into regular classes. So, that's awesome.
Nate says, Almost Famous, just watched it for the first time ever when Paramount Presents release came out. Great film. Yeah. I give it an 87.4 or something because of your scoring system.
That was funny, Nate.
Look at that.
That was really good. And you're actually pretty close to my score.
And here, can we also say something? Or no, we're going to go to acting. Sorry, I'll save it for acting.
We already passed acting. We're on script. So.
Did we pass acting?
Yeah.
What did I get for
Yeah,
acting?
you gave a 10 for the acting already.
Great. Can we just say I wanted to do one more shout out? Jason Lee.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
I agree.
Did you really think that he was going to pull off? He doesn't go too far off, and he's got kind of fast mouth thing that we're used to, but he does it so well for this role.
See, he's better in this than Dogma. I had issues with him in Dogma.
Yep. I think he's better than this in the Mallrats, right?
Yeah, he's better than this.
I liked him. I liked him better in this than Dogma too.
Yeah,
and I liked him in Dogma.
I was sad. I'm still sad where his career went after this, because I think Hollywood didn't give him enough chance. I think he could have made better films than what was offered him. Or unless
My Name is Earl, didn't he? After this,
yeah. But I don't know if that was his choice. I'll give that to him. Maybe he wanted to do that show and did that because it was funny. He did great in that. But I'm just saying, I think he could have been like another, Jim Carrey or something, where he could have done some really cool, serious stuff. And we got a glimpse of that here.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about that. You showed his picture, and I was just saying, and he was phenomenal in this movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
There he is. Look at him.
Yeah. It's The Enemy.
Yep.
Okay, so what do you think of the script here, Evan? And I'm just gonna say it won the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. So that was a factor for me. But I was like, I loved how it was written. So what did you think of the?
It's Cameron Crowe's best script. End of story. It's a 10.
Yep. All right. What do you think of the visuals, cinematography, visual effects?
Can we say,
blah,
out of all the movies where color grading plays in telling a story, and the fact that when this movie was made and how he color graded the film, and Cameron Crowe is a controller. He likes to be in the edit bay. He likes every parts of everything. It's beautiful. I love it. In the clothes, everything. You feel like you're living in that time. This is a movie that you escape to. It's a 10. I think Mike was right. Right? Isn't Mike who said I was 10s all the way around?
Yeah, Mike said you were going to throw some 10s out. Yeah, there's some 10s being thrown. I think myself, I threw 4 10s at this.
Yeah.
I gave 1, 2, 3, 4 10s also.
Oh, look
I think
at
you
that.
gave 4 10s also. Yeah. So, what's next? Direction. So, Cameron Crowe, not to be confused with Russell Crowe, who was actually not with Goldie Hawn at any point.
That's funny.
So, Cameron Crowe directed this. You said this was his Rachmaninoff for screenplay. How was his directing here on a 1 to 10?
I'm actually going, believe it or not, I'm giving it a 9. I'm giving it a 9, and here's why. Because I think Jerry Maguire does a little bit better of what he does as a director in a sense of camera work. This movie doesn't do, once he gets the tone of it, we don't get very many cool different shots. We pretty much get the same shot over and over again, but it's great for the film. But if you go back and watch Jerry Maguire as a director of Cameron Crowe, which I did one where I broke apart all of his movies, I think that's his perfect direction film. And this one in Elizabethtown, even though Elizabethtown is not a great film, his direction in that film is still great. I think this one. So I'm not going to score down based on that.
Okay. Totally cool. So for music, I already gave you a 10, but because I don't see any reason. Rich and I both gave it 10s.
Yeah, it's a 10.
I personally feel that the music, the soundtrack, the way the audio is here is probably my favorite.
Tiny Dancer, bringing them together. how music heals. And by the way, so for Christmas one year, so this would have been 2000, maybe 2000 or 2001. They came out with that bootleg copy that I'm talking about on DVD, and it had the Stillwater CD of all the songs on it. It was the only way to get that at the time. And I asked my mom,
Nice.
that's what I wanted, and she thought it was just whatever. And you know how parents don't know like important presents that give you? That is one that I remember opening it, loving it, escaping off, diving into the music, diving into the movie. Oh, I literally keep the DVD just because that memory. I couldn't get rid of it. Even though the
Nice.
Paramount Present gives me everything I need, but the DVD just has that special memory. So it's the music is a 10.
Yep. Totally agree. So Caveman says, Evan, you had me at hello.
Hello.
I had to put that on. Okay. So the last thing is the wild card. And
what does this get categorized as? Categorized. Sorry, I did that too.
Yeah, this gets categorized again as a comedy first, then a drama, but I don't agree. I think this is a drama.
This is straight up drama.
This is a drama that you sometimes have some light humor.
Yeah.
So, as a drama, what would you give this on a 1 to 10?
This is one of those dramas that you're in, you just want a good time and don't want something too heavy. It's a 10. I mean, what can you go wrong? Because I think you have drama, you have two things. You want a drama that, let's get a nice, serious story. Let's deal with some heavy material, heavy stuff like The Green Mile or something like that, which, by the way, I haven't seen. So I don't know why I use that as an example. But, or you have a drama that just, you want to have, like, get a nice story. You know what I mean? Without like it being too funny, but a nice rounded story that you get to know people. And I think that where this fits.
Okay. All right, let's go to our final scores on Almost Famous. IMDb gives us a 7.9. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 89%. Audience score 92%. Rich, you gave this an 84. I gave it an 89. Evan, your score is a 96.
Damn.
And that is tying Hunt for Red October. So if you had to pick one out of those two,
no, don't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. No. Oh, shit.
Yep. Because I got to rank them for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the same score for these two. So you got to pick one. Almost
totally
Famous.
Different moods. Like, you know what I mean? They're
They
totally different moods. I'm going to go with Almost Famous because of the memories I have with it.
Okay.
With my mom and the present, you know, like that. I'm going with Almost Famous. There's more good memories with the friends who I remember showing it to them for the very first time. Just it has better memories. Right, Rich?
Yeah.
Good job.
He would definitely pick Almost Famous over Red October.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind.
Almost Famous could have been the perfect 100 if they had an Alec Baldwin cameo, but they didn't.
No, don't do that. No.
That it definitely would have made Rich.
I thought he was going to come with some knowledge again, and then he fucking throws out Alec Baldwin.
You know, you gotta get some Julia Roberts in there. Spice things up there.
Yeah, gotta spice things. Get a little Hugh Grant. All right. So one more movie, one more hot seat question. Let's go with hot seat question number 5, and that is: give us your most surprising hot take. This is one movie that you can't stand that everyone else seems to like.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
For some people seem to love that one. I don't like that. Or a lot of Will Ferrell's comedy. I hate Anchorman.
I don't like Will Ferrell.
I don't like Will Ferrell either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not a hot take for this channel.
No.
Not really. We're kind of all on the same page there. Caveman says nothing better than recommending a film to a friend and them actually loving it.
Mhm.
Dude, I'm so happy with Notting Hill and Goodyear for you guys that you both walked away.
Me too.
I'm happy.
Yeah. Mike says y'all can get stung by a scorpion for that Pulp Fiction take. Wait,
I'm gonna say something about Quentin Tarantino. I have an issue with is that he doesn't allow himself to make a freaking amazing film. He always has to make a stylized film, and that's too bad. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood almost for me would have been a perfect Quentin Tarantino film because we got his kind of style, but with a different take. But then the freaking ending got so gory and violent that I went, damn it, it's done for me. I hated the ending of that movie. I was so stupid because it's Quentin Tarantino. Anyone else could have pulled it off fine, but for him, I wanted him to say, let's stay away from that stuff. And then he does it, and I got mad. So while I enjoy, how about this? I haven't even seen Hateful Eight. So I've seen almost everything out. My favorite Quentin Tarantino movie is Jackie Brown, followed by Reservoir Dogs, and then I'll take The Kill Bills. I'm never needing to see Pulp Fiction, and I can't think of any other movie. I haven't seen Hateful Eight. Inglourious Basterds, I've only seen once, and I didn't love that. So, Django Unchained. Leo, I have it because of Leo DiCaprio. I think he saved that movie. And Samuel Jackson. So there's my hot take. Quentin Tarantino is overrated.
I'm on board with you on that for the most part.
Yeah.
So Caveman says another question: what is the reason you fell in love with movies besides escapism? Taking my original fifth question, which I removed.
I think because of my disability and ways to connect with the world, movies was my gateway. Movies was my way to understand the world around me. Movies was the way that I was communicating with friends because school was not it. I was pulled out of class. I was in special ed for a couple of years. When I mean special ed, full on special ed. I was not in a regular class. So like one of my good friends couldn't even talk and wore a helmet. And like so I never fit in anywhere. But movies was my place. Movie was the place that I got to show my knowledge. I was able to set up people's home theaters at a very young age. I remember being woken up by my dad, said, "Grandma needs help with her VCR," woke me up. I was like 5. Go hook it up. And so my dad used to just drag me to his friend's house. So I would hook up their stereo systems because it just made sense. And movies and sound and audio and I was watching movies way too young that I should. Godfather, age 9. Hunt for the Red October, age 8. It's just the way I think. So even today, movies, when I was a teacher, I use movies to teach and do that because I think it's just a way to be exposed to ideas without that sometimes we aren't normally exposed to. And so like I love sci-fi. Sci-fi allowed the first interracial kiss and a lot of things that maybe back then didn't get exposed to. Deals with things, history backdrops, like understanding things. So film is the love letters to the future and to the past.
Dude, I love that answer.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's well said, my friend. I think it's my favorite answer to all the questions.
Well, thank you.
Well, I sincerely mean that, man. You're a pretty cool dude. Even though you're a little asshole at times, you're still a pretty cool dude.
Only an asshole to the people I love, my friend. If I'm not making fun of you, I don't like you.
I love it.
And
I will never forget getting that text, dude. I said, keep on doing it because it's great.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure because I never want to offend. That's my goal. I could be harsh and rude, but my goal is to never offend. I want to make a smile, make everyone happy. So if my humor is not your type, tell me, and I won't do it.
Dude, I love it.
You're great. Love it.
Caveman says, perfect answer, Evan. Sorry for stealing your question, Dave. It's totally okay, brother. I think it's a great question. I just modified it. That's awesome. Mike even says great answer. So yeah, totally great answer. And speaking of assholes, let's get to our final movie of the night.
If you like a little adventure, do your worst, Mr. Hughes.
I love
That's
this movie.
Right. Our last movie, our highest score between us and the final movie in our high five today is The Aviator, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. What was it about this pick? And I think this, correct me if I'm wrong, this was a replacement, right? This was the one because we wanted All the President's Men.
Yeah.
So this ended up being the replacement one. So what was it about this one that sent it our
truly way? When it popped up, because I was looking at All the President's Men, it starts with A, it's history, and it's a near perfect. I think it's probably going to get a perfect score for me. Spoiler alert. It's a great movie, and I thought if you guys haven't seen it, you needed to see it. So that's kind of where it was a great replacement for All the President's Men. So, yeah, I love this film.
This is going to be a hunt for me to add to my collection. It's a little long, but I'm okay with that.
It's Martin Scorsese. You were expecting it, right?
Yeah, Scorsese. Yeah, I mean it's just a touch under 3 hours.
2 hours and 50 minutes, I think.
Yeah. And then you have you're lucky you didn't watch The Last Airbender instead, right?
Oh shit, I would have been pissed if I did. You're like, oh no.
Rich texted me to make sure this was the movie, so I was like, yeah, it's not The Last Airbender.
Yeah. Mike says I'm the same way. If I'm not breaking malls, I don't like you.
Well, one time when I was a teacher, so when I have to be my teacher voice and be extra nice. But my son knew the phrase, right? Because it's from our family. My dad would say it often, and I say it often. And one time I was super nice to this parent, and my son, she walked away, and my son like, you must hate her. I go, why? You were super nice. I was like, no, that was just me doing my job. But he just put it in his head at the young age, super nice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Or this is where you turn the bass and the treble just right to to equal professional when you're when you get to deal with someone like that. So Caveman says Piss in Jars beats President's Men. I don't know about that. I love All the President's Men, and that would have been a great watch. But this was, I think, equally a great watch. Just amazing film, really well done.
I loved it,
and I think I gotta give it to Cate Blanchett here. And this was the movie that propelled Cate Blanchett in my eyes to one of my favorite actresses. I thought her portrayal of Katharine Hepburn was awesome. In fact, she won Best Supporting Actress for this.
She did?
Yeah.
Now, how accurate was she, her personality in the film, to the actual Kate Hepburn?
I didn't know her personally, but when I've seen interviews, it seemed that her confidence and the way she talked, I think, is spot on for me.
Yeah, fantastic.
And this, for me, what you said about Kate was also the same for me in Leo.
Oh, he's
holy
so
cow!
good.
This has also Alec Baldwin. I picked 3 freaking Alec Baldwin movies.
You picked 3 Alec Baldwin movies.
Holy freaking cow! And I didn't mean to. That's Hunt for the Red October, Notting Hill, and this stupid movie. Holy cow! I didn't put that together.
I take that what I said back because he is decent in this movie.
Oh yeah.
I take that all back. Well, I don't take it all back. I take a little bit of it back.
Not all back. It's a little bit of it back.
Man, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
No. And if I would have had the Shadow in this group, holy cow, you would think I was obsessed with Alec Baldwin.
It would have been like, it's almost like when I told Rich to pick his favorite comedies, and he gives me 3 Jason Bateman movies. And I was like, so you really like Jason Bateman? He's like, oh crap, I picked 3 Jason Bateman movies. And he's like, yeah, I really like him. And I was like, okay, cool. So that's how I
You're a
realized.
historian.
So,
And how accurate was the portrayal of Howard Hughes in this?
That's going to be debatable because
Yeah.
if you study history, he has a mythology that surrounds him because of his reclusiveness and his OCD and the pissing in the jars and the hair and buying a hotel. All these things are part of his story, but the question is how true and how extreme gets a bit of a debate in the history when I read about him. So I relate to that because I struggle with OCD myself. I have big things. So when I watch this movie, I get a little afraid that I hope I never run down that road because that's what happens to some people that struggle with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But like all the major stuff has some kind of, there's some factual base to the reason why. It's not like where you take, I hated the Elvis movie because they just literally took all the mythology of Elvis and made a movie about it and said, look at this biography. Didn't even respect Elvis as a man. I hate that movie. I love Elvis. Elvis is one of my favorite actors and singers and all that stuff. Had a professional Elvis, world champion Elvis impersonator at a 10-year-old birthday party. So, and I hate the new Elvis movie. So, where I think this does a better job at dealing with all the subjects of it.
Yeah.
I was just curious because I had no clue about this guy.
Yeah. It gives.
I mean, I knew who he was. I heard about him,
Yeah.
in history, and but I didn't know.
Yeah, I think it gives good story to some of the mythology without going to the extreme of all the stuff that they said about Howard Hughes.
Yeah.
But because he was so recluse, because he was so like alone, he was so he lived as a hermit for a while. They didn't know what was going on behind closed doors.
Where there's a movie stars Richard Gere because he lies about that he gets to interview Howard Hughes and he's going to write a biography. And he sells it and he does that. I forget what movie it is. It's based off a true story where he was so recluse that someone could lie about meeting him. No one could test it. No one could challenge it. And I think Howard Hughes came out of hiding to say, no, he's not talking to me.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember that movie. What was the name of that?
I've never heard of it. Because I'm not a Richard Gere fan.
But I'm a history fan, so I like to connect all these movies.
I think it was called The Hoax, if I remember correctly.
The Hoax,
something like
maybe.
That.
So like I watch all the President's Men and I always watch Frost and Nixon often behind that. I like to always connect all the history films and teach history through film, and that's a gimmick of mine.
It works. It's a way to bring that together.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get to the numbers on The Aviator first. So The Aviator is from 2004. It had a budget of 110 million, made 208.3 million in the box office. It was nominated for what? 11 Oscars, and it won for Best Supporting Actress, Best Achievement in Cinematography, Best Achievement in Art Direction, Best Achievement in Film Editing, Best Achievement in Costume Design, and of course, and nominated for Best Director but didn't win, and also nominated for Best Picture and didn't win. So it was like way up there in Oscars. And I do want to note that one of Leonardo's token nominations, because he was nominated for this but didn't win, and then he gets his token Oscar with The Revenant, but he still doesn't show up at the Oscars to receive it. But let's go to the cast. I don't see why this is not a 10.
Yeah.
It's not. It was kind of a no-brainer when I started watching. I was like, dude, it's a 10. I've just even,
It's a 10 in the theater. It's a 10 now. I knew everyone.
Yeah.
Alan Arkin, right? Is that how you say his name? He owns America's
Alan
Father
Arkin.
Airlines. Yeah. Right? Isn't that him?
You mean Alan Alda?
Alden. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, from MASH. Yeah,
Yeah, he does the fish thing to him and the OCD thing.
yeah, with the finger with the thumbprint on the glass.
You don't
messing with him?
understand what that does to someone like that. It's not, because a lot of people think OCD is just to keep everything neat. That's not what it does. It's unable
No.
to move on and be obsessive compulsive. And there's certain things like something that you would do something wrong, or you do something and you can move on, but you can't move on. Like there's things that I worry about that no one else worries about, and it's hard. It's freaking hard. So the panic I feel like that. Oof, when I see that scene.
Yeah. K-Man says Leo did win the Golden Globe for this movie. Yes, that is true. Okay,
But the
so
Golden Globes are like the MTV Awards. They don't mean anything.
That's like. What'd you think of the acting on a 110? I've already written it down, but
10.
Because you said this might get a perfect score, and I'm actually hoping that the plot for IMDb sucks, but let's go to it. Because I haven't, I read it and I was like, put a score on it. Okay, so here's what it says. A biopic depicting the early years of legendary director and aviator Howard Hughes' career from the late 1920s to the mid 1940s.
It gets me there. 10.
Damn it.
As a history guy, it gets. If they didn't say Howard Hughes, I would have been losing some points.
I'm like, who?
Yeah,
okay.
But
Howard Hughes, that's like,
yeah, it got me.
He was like very prominent figure back in that time,
and you're dealing with some of my favorite times in history, the 1920s and all that stuff. I'm a geek over that. Like I could talk to you about the Gilded Age. I mean, I love the Rocketeer just because of the style of that Batman animated series because of that style. So it has me there.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the ending.
Nice try.
All right. What'd you think of the ending on a 1 to 10?
For an autobiography, I thought it was a perfect 10 because they could have done a lot more, gone into later in his life and done that, but they hyper focused saying this is what we're focusing on, and they did a great job at doing that. You know what I mean? Like we're not getting a complete life story, but we're going to get a glimpse into this part of his life and tell this story and why, and you have a purpose to tell this story because you get sometimes where
having kids.
Don't remember.
I thought he had a kid and he got kidnapped.
Oh, that's someone else.
That sounds like the Lindbergh baby.
That's what it was. I was thinking of Lindbergh. That's what it was. Okay.
No.
Yeah. The Lindbergh baby.
Or that whatever that other movie is about the guy, the rich guy. I think Kevin Spacey was going to be in it, but got recasted. About that guy who had his grandson kidnapped. That's what I was thinking. Can't remember who his name is.
You were right.
No.
All right. So, what do you think of the story on a 1 to 10?
Got me. It's a 10. I mean, what else do you want? Got the trial. That tickled. Got him inventing and having the conversation. The movie aspect of it. Having meeting all the Hollywood stars. I mean, and I think it's just so well written where it's beautiful. It takes you for 2 hours and 50 minutes. I could sit down and not feel like I sat there for 3 hours. This and the Zodiac are movies that I think get it.
I like Zodiac.
I watched this movie in my car the other day. I watched
on your phone?
On my phone. Because my daughter had volleyball camp, and her school is about 40 minutes away, and I didn't want to take the gas and drive all the way back, so I sat there and watched it on my phone, and I loved it.
There you go,
man. I did. It's hard to explain. I don't know how I've heard of it, but again, it's like Notting Hill. Never would have picked it up. Would have never. It didn't speak to me. It didn't. I don't know. It's just, this is a fantastic film.
I'm not going to argue.
All right.
That's beautiful.
I'm not going to argue either. So script. It was nominated but didn't win for best original screenplay, but still.
Can I just say I hate having this called original screenplay. So yeah. I'm working on an idea of a video or an essay to write about original ideas, and this is not it because it's based off of someone's life, and it's based off of, you get what I'm saying? It's based off of history, and so it's not to me an original idea. So I get that it's original script because it's not based off of a book or whatever.
It's not based off of a book, and yeah, that's kind of where.
Okay, done with my soapbox. I mean, I love the script. I mean. And the fact how they intertwined and followed him and saw him develop, and you're not bored. And some of the stuff that you could literally be bored about. Why do you care about who he's dating? But it somehow makes it interesting that he's dating these women. Like, where I should be bored to death. I don't care about that. Like, I don't care who he's dating. Portman. Yeah, well, yeah, unless it's Natalie Portman. But it's not. It's Kate Beckinsale and all this stuff, but it's well written.
Gwen Stefani is Jean Harlow, and I was like, okay.
Notice how she doesn't have very many lines.
No, not very many lines. Man, I only remember one, and that's when she was interviewed. I just want to say thank you to Howard Hughes for buying me all this stuff. No, but yeah, I mean, okay, so 10, right?
Sorry, 10.
I already put you down as a 10 for cinematography because I thought the way this was filmed was phenomenal. I wanted to give it a 12. This was so good. The way they did the planes, the way, they were shooting all the, when he was filming Hell's Angels, the cinematography just for that was a 10 for me. And then to move on with the way that the Hercules was and the way that they flew the plane when it crashed, I dug all that, especially in the beat field. I like all of it. He just
gets out of that plane like there's no big deal. He's just chilling.
In there.
Yeah.
When you think about when he's flying Hercules, the plane, how exciting that is, and there's very little talking. Like, is the plane going to take off? And it looks real. And I don't know if it's a Blu-ray thing because so many Blu-rays did that blue filter, kind of color grading that they added. I hope that was done correctly because I love that of this film. Like, the grass behind him is hyper real. Everything seems just hyper real because of that blue filter that's on in the movie. I hope, like, when the 4K comes out and they go, no, it wasn't supposed to be, I'm going to be so sad because I actually enjoy that aspect of the Blu-ray. So I loved it. I mean, just every part, like Alec Baldwin's office, just how it's filmed and how they film Alec Baldwin talking about the airlines. I mean, Martin Scorsese knows how to make a film. Can we just say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the hearings when they were having the hearings.
Yes.
I love that.
And notice how Martin Scorsese knows how to do a close shot and a wide shot. Notice how in the middle of the film we're getting to know Howard Hughes. We get very little close-ups, but by the end in the hearings we get so many close-ups of the thing, and you feel tight and you feel claustrophobic because is the world falling in on him, and it's just beautiful.
Oh wow! Yeah, I never noticed that.
Yeah.
It says if it's fantastic on your phone, can't imagine how it would be for
you on
the big
right?
screen.
I mean, I played it on I watched it on Paramount Plus, and I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and it looked beautiful on my phone. So I wanted.
Did you have headphones in?
No, I had to play through my car.
Oh no, that's never around too. Put headphones in. Because I'll tell you, okay, when you go to the movies, I don't know if you have Cinemark, they do that, they start with Make 2 on the phone. This is not how you experience it. And then it shows up to a big screen and they go, hey, this is how you experience it. And notice how they make the audio sound tiny. Because I've been watched, because I work and I sit in my car often, because I work for hotels and they don't have an office for me. So I sometimes do 8 hours in my car and I just watch movies. But when I have my headphones in and I have it this close, it's as good as watching it on my big screen. Because the audio is just so good on my headphones. So I think audio makes the movie more than visuals. I know that sounds all awkward, but I think audio is the key.
I wish I would have watched it at home on my sound system. But when this hits 4K, is it coming out on 4K? Has it been announced?
I have no clue.
I didn't know.
I don't know.
No clue, but next year would be the 20th anniversary. I'm just saying.
I will definitely.
I bet you can find the Blu-ray cheap. Where if you buy it cheap, it won't. It was a pretty big Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So.
I still had the old school DVD. I popped the DVD into my player and just enjoyed the heck out of it.
Look at that.
It was cool. K-Man says manipulating the layers to enhance or remove certain color channels on the film reflects how even back then the grass can look blue, the sky's aqua, even the metal of the plane could shimmer blue.
Yeah.
Caveman bringing the knowledge. All right,
dude, he's kicking butt tonight.
We were talking about Scorsese. So how would you rate this on a 1 to 10 for Scorsese's films?
Okay, I'm gonna say, I could have done this as a hot take too. I love Casino over Goodfellas. I'm gonna say it out right now. I love Casino. I love that film. It is my favorite of all time. But this movie as Scorsese, I'm trying to think of a better film. To me, this is my perfect film for him. I love it. He's like, I've already mentioned about how he uses close-up, zooms out, and he used every trick in the book. This is perfect. I love this film. I don't think I could dock him for anything. Dang it. Sorry, it's a 10. I can't. I'm trying. I'm thinking of all the questions. What can I give not a 10 to?
Have you seen the trailer for The Dragon Moon or whatever it's called?
Or on Apple TV? Oh, yeah. But I'm getting tired of long freaking movies, even though this is a long freaking movie. But at this time, this story is epic. But I'm just tired of long freaking. Don't be sorry, Digman. You're killing it.
Don't be sorry, Caveman.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
But I'm just nervous about the length.
Yeah. Especially when we have to watch so many movies. They should take us into consideration. Come on, guys.
Oh no. I'm getting pissed at long movies.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to music, that soundtrack and sound effects. What did you think of that here?
Trying to think if there's anything wrong. The music was fine. Picks out glass sound effects. I remember this 5.1 is great. Does your DVD have 5.1?
My DVD has 5.1.
I remember all my speakers going off and going, this is like when the plane takes off and the sub going and getting it going. Music wise, I mean, I don't remember much. I mean, there's no like
the clubs and stuff.
Clubs. It's just it's always in the background. I don't remember the score.
There was I just remember that one guy in the club and he's just doing this bit.
Rufus
flailing around. Yeah, it was crazy.
That was Rufus Wainwright. So I could even see that. I can even name you the artist. I would say I'll give this a 9 because I don't remember the score. There you go. Not a perfect score.
Okay. And the last thing, and I don't think there's any question here. This is definitely a drama. What would you give this on a 1 to 10 as a drama?
It's a 10. It's one of those classic epic dramas, like the word epic and the length. Dancing with Wolves, Gone with the Wind, all these like epic stories that you need to have the length. Lawrence of Olivia. This is one of them. Are you shaking your head because of Gone with the Wind? Did I just say
Yeah,
that?
no.
Oh man.
Did not like Gone with the Wind.
I mean, I appreciate what it did at its time. I appreciate all the work that went into that film, but it's just not for me.
Do you like epics?
I do, but it just bored me to death. This is gonna sound okay. the actresses in that movie, they were so whiny. They just.
I'm not gonna. And can I tell you something about that? If you notice,
Yeah.
movies at that time, they are whiny because microphones have a hard time picking female voices up. That's why men voices are very well because it's on the lower register. But look at older movies; almost all women are speaking at a higher pitch because the microphones have a hard time picking up their voices, so they sound whiny, and that's why if you notice, for the 1930s, 1940s, you get one type of voice from these women because they all have to speak in a higher pitch because of the microphones.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
So they get whiny.
It just annoyed me. I was like, oh my goodness.
No, it annoys me in a lot of films too. But I give a lot of. Have you seen the movie Singing in the Rain?
No.
Okay, it talks about that in that movie about microphones
does it really?
and stuff like that. But that's why if you go. Well, sorry.
It kind of does that in Babylon too, when they switched from silent film to talkies, and they were having trouble with the sound because they couldn't pick up the women's sounds and things like that. So they had to do creative stuff. So they do mention that in Babylon a little bit.
Yeah,
I hated that film too. It was so freaking long.
It was long. Whoa.
All right. Are you doing your scoring and everything? Are we done?
Yeah, I'm telling all the scores. So yeah, while you guys were chatting really quick, I still got to do your final scores here for Aviator, and then I can compile this thing. But I was just kind of skipping ahead a little bit because you guys were talking, so it gave me some time to work on the math. All right, so let's do the final scores on the Aviator, and then I'm gonna wrap this outro in a nice little bow and download it. But first, K-Man says, Evan mentioned the blue, and I saw that as part of the trivia. Totally cool. As far as the DVD goes, do you prefer Dolby Digital or DTS? And whatever happened to DTS?
DTS is still out there.
DTS is still out there.
Yeah. I'm a personal favorite of DTS if I had to prefer one because they like to use the sub. TTS usually has the sub working for 5.1, especially on DVDs and the early Blu-rays. DTS was kicking butt. Now Dolby Atmos has come in and tried to take the cake, but they still, when I hear Dolby Atmos, I don't have like the 7 speakers. I only have 5, but I get the Dolby Atmos line. So because Dolby Atmos could go down to 5.1. But they just still doesn't use the sub. They don't use the low end as much as I want. So,
yeah, I noticed that too. I prefer DTS because I got the sub, and yeah, I have 5 speakers as well.
Oh, you do for your Dolby Atmos?
Yep.
Okay.
I have I have the bar, and then 2 side and 2 rear, and then the subwoofer. So I guess 6, but I don't count the subwoofer as a speaker. And then Evan, bring in the audio knowledge. That's right.
I live in the town where the loudspeaker was invented, just to let you know.
Oh, really?
The loudspeaker that you go to stadiums and concerts to hear was invented in Napa, California. There's one little monument for it. And when they tested it out, the city, the people who lived in it wasn't a city, it was a town because Napa Valley, thought aliens were being invaded by a foreign country or aliens. Freaked them all out. Yeah, because they all of a sudden they just heard this loud noise and they couldn't figure out. Your ears didn't know how to process that because you never had.
Yeah.
Think about it. You didn't know how to process things from a loudspeaker. We do all the time because we hear it. But back then, your ears, first time hearing it, what the heck?
Yeah.
But I am an audio guy.
Okay, so while we're waiting Dave to do all that, what are some movies you're looking forward to seeing for the rest of the year?
Equalizer 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about that. I'm going to see Turtles.
Oh, I see now.
Hopefully soon. I'm hoping to see that this week. I'm hoping to see Oppenheimer. I'm trying to get our IMAX is about an hour and a half to 2 hours away, either direction. And work's been crazy. So I'm really hard trying to get to see that on 70 millimeter. I could go see it in my local theater, but I feel like that might be a sin anyways, because if I wait for physical media, I get the whole thing. So
I loved Oppenheimer.
I can't think of what else is coming out.
And yes, Evan, Oppenheimer is my number one film of the year so far. I don't see anything on the schedule so far that's going to jump out at me. That's going to move that. So yeah,
watch out. I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan, so I'm right there.
I'm hoping this finally gets him his Oscar. But we still have a lot of stuff to come out.
The greatest directors have never won Oscars. Just remember that. Hitchcock never won one.
And I'm just discovering Hitchcock, thanks to Dave.
Oh,
I had Psycho. I had The Birds. But man, he picked Vertigo, Rear Window. I fell in love with those movies.
Okay, have you ever seen Martin Scorsese's Cape Fear with Robert Downey Jr.? Not Robert Downey Jr., Robert De Niro.
Yes, I have.
And Michael Bolton.
Yeah.
You know that's his love film to Hitchcock?
No, I did not.
When you start watching Hitchcock, go watch that film. He literally steals scene from scene on how he films that.
Really?
Yes.
Oppenheimer is all of Rich's top 5. No, it's Oppenheimer and Across the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
1 and 2. Yeah.
That's
so
1 and 2.
Bought volume 2 of the 4K Hitchcock set. And I want to get North by Northwest because David keeps talking about it.
Yep.
So that's my goal.
I've been my new goal because I've done most of James Stewart movies, and we did on Harrison's channel, really old movies. Me and holy cow, forgot his name. Another guy, he just changed his name to Maple Street. With I don't know if Harrison's on. Holy cow! But we did our top 5 Stewart films, and I just watched off of Max the Last Movie Star, looking at Paul Newman and his wife documentary. It's like 6-parter stuff, and I realized that there's a lot of movies I haven't watched from both of those that I need to go back and watch Paul Newman and take a look at him again. So
come on, Rich. No love or expectations for Blue Beetle?
I have very low expectations for Blue Beetle.
I'm done with DC, so no.
I think it's gonna be fun, but yeah, I'm like, it's but no, it's
really the last of the old guard of DC. I don't care what James Gunn said. This movie's been done for like 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, and he's saying this is the first one of the new.
Yeah, the first character of the new, the first character, not film, but because he's Superman Legacy.
I was gonna say Dune, but is that delayed to next year? Is that been official?
I know pushed back, but they have.
But I still see it on the calendar, right?
Yeah, it's still on the calendar, but it was like pushed back. I want to say like a few weeks. I thought.
Napoleon.
Oh, that looks. See, I think that's Ridley Scott.
Mm-hmm. And the Voyage of it's Ridley Scott. And the Voyage of Demeter.
Black Voyage of the Demeter.
Yeah.
You watched it?
No, I'm watching it this weekend.
I'm hoping to see it in the next week or so.
We're today. So yeah, I'm gonna try to watch it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. But there's nothing jumping out at me.
I do want to see Gran Turismo. That intrigues me.
Yeah,
because of the director.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. It's people say it's not a perfect film, but it's a fun film.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna geek out because I like rom-coms. Is my Big Fat Greek Wedding 3.
Ooh.
Oof.
I know.
I'll
I
guarantee
know.
you right now, Evan, that will not be on by the numbers.
That's not gonna.
You
I
know
don't think that's
what?
gonna make.
Maybe I'm going to put it on by the numbers because I will make
I'm gonna
you
make a
somehow.
special appearance and make you guys watch it. And we're both gonna go.
I could tell you
Hey,
the
man
one movie
says
I
he's
am
just
not
trying to
looking.
sell tickets because his previous comments really hurt Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gran Turismo is high on my list, dude. I liked it. I'm sad that they pushed it. Did we lose Evan?
Oh, Evan. Haha, Evan, I kicked your ass out. That's what you get for making fun of me.
Take it. No. we lost him. We were just coming down to the end. Hopefully he comes back. There he is.
All right.
I don't know what happened. You just dropped off the face of the earth.
I just dropped off, dude. Because I was about to say I don't see Expendables 4. That's probably why. That looks.
I think it looks like Expendables 4 is what it looks like, and I'm still gonna watch it because I like the nostalgia of those guys. But all right, so before I do the whole results, so I've got all that done now in the midst of us talking. So I want to do the final scores for Aviator, which IMDb gives it a 7.5. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 86%, audience score 79%. Rich, you gave this a 90.
Ooh.
I gave it an 88. And Evan, your score's a 99, bro.
That's fucking awesome.
I love it, dude. I mean, I can't.
That's
I'm actually shocked. I'm gonna be honest. I was being real because Notting Hill I thought might have been a perfect score. What? Tell you the truth too, because I love that film. But no.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go to the final rankings for all three of us. So Evan, your number one was The Aviator with a 99. You have Almost Famous at number 2 with a 96. Hunt for Red October at number 3, also with a 96. Notting Hill at 4 with a 92. And A Good Year bringing up the rear with an 83. Rich, you have The Aviator as number 1 with a 90. Almost Famous with an 84. Hunt for Red October with a 71. Notting Hill with a 68. And A Good Year as your number 5 with a 63. And my scores, I have Almost Famous as number 1 with an 89. Aviator with an 88. Hunt for Red October with an 85. A Good Year at 4 with a 76. And my least favorite was Notting Hill with a 68.
Not surprised. That sounds about right.
So that was it. But man, great show.
Yeah.
I love it. What'd you think, Evan?
Well, I love this. I love watching you guys all the time. I love your comment boards. I just love how you guys tackle movies and talk about movies. I truly hope you guys grow bigger because it's just so much fun. And
we appreciate that.
And I love being on the show. I know I probably comment way too much in your comments.
No, dude, you don't comment enough.
we miss it when you're not on the show. We're like,
well, I usually have to break because you guys are on so much. I sneak you guys in. So I get home from work, I put you guys on. And then my wife says dinner ready, so I go do dinner, put the kids back on, then I come back on late. So I usually miss the middle because I got kids. Yeah. But I usually on Thursdays or one of them, if you do one, I try to stay the whole time lately. But no, I just love this, like dissecting, talking. I mean, we've gone over 3 hours, and
it doesn't feel like it.
No, and I love every minute of it. I love what you guys do, and I really like truly from you guys' show and Geeks and Flicks. I've met some really great people that soon I'll call you friends because we actually communicate more than just this.
Yeah.
So like I text Rich when I come out of the comic book store. Look what I got.
Dude, that's something that brings me joy because seeing other people pick up the medium of comic books, because I don't care what anybody says, the comic book medium is dying. And when I see. That brings me joy. When you, Nate, send me pictures of what you guys get from the comic shop, it legit brings me joy. It makes me happy because you're taking the time to go out of your way to go to a comic store, help that business owner out, and then buying and supporting the medium that gives us these big blockbuster movies.
And I love sharing movies. Like tonight, I'm going on such a high because the movies I picked for you that I thought you would like but never picked, you both end up liking it. And you both said you're going to probably add it to your collection.
Yeah.
How can you not win on that high? I mean,
you knocked it out of the park, Evan.
You did.
Great pick.
And I'm
for
going to
both
tell you
of us.
something. You probably wouldn't have been able to do that if you didn't tune into our show to know.
Oh, no.
Each and every week, because you're here every week. And to know
you
what
participate all the time. And that was one of the, when I did the intro, that was the one thing I wanted to key on is your participation. I mean, just for us in our live stream and, commenting on our videos and talking to us outside of our show has been amazing. So I wanted to when I did the intro, I was like, I wanted to point out, how active you are in the chat and in the live stream and just, talking to us. And I especially love it when you give Rich crap because that's,
me too.
That just warms my heart.
I mean, it's just so easy. I don't even have to try. Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
No, you don't have to try. Evan, I worry about commenting too much. No, don't worry about that, Caveman. You're also one of my favorite people.
You guys, when we say we appreciate you, we honestly mean it. We're not saying it because we want your likes, your subscribe. We mean it because we actually do. We appreciate you guys.
No, I love the comments, and this is the thing we record some of our shows because we have to, but we don't like it because we want those comments, want that live chat. And it takes our shows a little bit longer, but it's so worth it to get that communication and interaction with everyone else.
And I would like to say, you guys deep dive into movies. Like, I love that because so many of the YouTubers out there, it's more about what you bought and not about the movies. And to me, I love what you're buying and I love the collections. I love that, but you got to make movies first. Huck, I love seeing him when he gets so excited when he buys a movie because he has the movie, not just the collection. I love watching him it's so exciting to watch people just love movies. And I love, it's not about streaming or anything. You just said, let's watch the movie. Let's discuss the movie. And let's keep it growing. And I love that because like I said, movies probably saved my life. And so I can't give it up. So I'm all about that.
Mike says, I always feel like I sidetrack you guys and make the shoes. I'm going to say shows. Shows way longer than they need to be.
No, dude, Mike, you're one of my favorite people too, man.
Well, Mike, he's the guy on last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, dude, he was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, dude. Love Mike. Mike and I have been bros for a long time. And I was like, and it's so funny because we met through professional wrestling. And we became friends.
That's just a funny statement to me every time you say it, okay? It's just a funny statement. It's like saying I stepped on a scorpion when I was showering. I mean, you just say the ring of the thing.
Yep. Yep. So when so Mike and I haven't seen each other for a long time, but then come to find out he's doing his podcast and he talks about movies and stuff too. And I'm like, dude, we totally have to, all of a sudden we're back, kind of have something in common, but it's something totally different than the pro wrestling. So, it was great having him on last week. And I know we went long, and this turned out to be pretty long too, but it was worth it, Evan. I really like talking to you. I love talking about
movies that held my interest. Even for October, A Good Year. I'm glad I watched them. You know what I mean? They weren't movies that I was dreading.
And that's kind of why I didn't pick the Disney movies. When I picked all these movies, I picked Red October, Almost Famous. They're my movies. I wanted you to get to know me. Those two speak to me.
Yeah.
And the rest of the other movies, like The Aviator, all the President's Men would have been a no for me. Expose it to and so The Aviator I think was a good compromise between that. But like the other movies, like not even good. I wanted to pick movies for you and not just say, hey, these are my favorite. You know what I mean? That's the pick. Is getting to know someone. Like when anytime I start meeting a movie, give me a good recommendation. I can't. I need to know. Give me your top 5 and why. Give me your low 5 and why. Because I can't just tell you a movie because I don't know your loves and passion. Because I truly think movies, art, and everything are part of who we are and how we see the world. And when we understand that, we could communicate better, right? And so that's the key point. So like if like Rich, if me and you ever, or both of you, we ever start talking about anything that maybe taboo, politics or something, religion or something, I could communicate better with you because I understand your love for art and comic books, and I could share my views better with you based on that. I mean, a lot of people don't use those tools to communicate, and I think it's very important to do that. So I'm all about that.
That's Evan, you're so elegant, man. You really are.
Yeah.
Caveman says another benefit for people who don't have premium YouTube accounts get to watch without commercials while the stream is live. That's true.
Yeah.
And Harrison just hopped back on after
Harrison?
dinner. Great show tonight.
Because I said his name.
His
ears started burning. He said, I better get back on.
Ears are burning because we were talking about you. Mike says, great out of the box way of making your list, Evan.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice. All right. So, Evan, I didn't give you a chance to shamelessly plug anything you wanted to plug. Do you have anything coming up? Anything going on your end, or are you going to be on anyone else's live stream coming up?
I'm always willing to go on people's live streams if they have me. But I'm working on things. I hasn't been official going things, so my channel's been on pause for a really long time. I started to launch it again, but my files got corrupted, and I said forget it. So I've been disencouraged in that. But I have some things in the works that I don't know. I'm partnering up with someone. Haven't asked if I can make the announcement tonight. But hopefully some good things come from that because I don't like talking to myself. And I love what you guys have done to pair it up, and I'm going to steal it right from you guys and copy it because I love what you do. And I love what Geeks and Flicks does with the talking. I need a partner. And so, but I love talking. If you want to see a lot of the other stuff, you go to
Harrison says, go for it, Evan.
Yeah. So Harrison and I, if you watch his stream, I've been on his channel a lot. So we're going to start partnering up. Don't know exactly what's going to go, but I want to launch a website because, like I said, I like to write. And so I want to launch a website along with some YouTube videos, podcasting, kind of have a hub of different modes of how to share our thoughts and ideas. And Harrison and I are going to team up for that and come out with something that we will create together. And so we're hoping maybe by September or something, we could start launching some stuff. So going to put our time and energy in that.
Caveman has 3 movie recommendations for you, Evan: Cadence, Sliding Doors, and The Man Who Knew Too Little.
Seen Man Who Knew Too Little. Great. Haven't seen the other 2. I own Sliding Doors. My wife loved that, and I bought it because I saw her. Okay, I was a nerd. So when I wanted to date her, and I went to her house and I saw that she had sliding doors and she had Great Expectation on her bookshelf, I sneakily went to Barnes & Noble and bought those 2 things. And I subconsciously put it on my shelf. So when she came over for the first time, she could say, oh, look, you like these 2 things. And I've never watched them or read the books.
And Caveman would like to do something with you too, Evan. So
let's go
definitely
for it.
Look up Caveman. He's got stuff. But if you guys want to, I put links to Evan's YouTube channel and Instagram on there. He's also got Letterboxd. You can hit him up at Popculture33, all one word. Evan, thanks a lot, brother, for being on. It's been a true joy to talk movies with you. I think we're going to get out of here. Rich, we got a show Tuesday. And we're subbing in Ninja Turtles, right? Since I saw it.
before we go, let's read off our movies for By the Numbers next week. Next week on Tuesday, which is going to be our new night for a while. So first up, we got Heart of Stones, the Gal Gadot movie on Netflix. We got The Ritual Killer on Hulu, Hidden Strike on Netflix, Poison, The Dirty Truth, or Also Truth About Your Food, the documentary on Netflix, and then Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. It's currently out in the theaters. Those are our 5 movies for next week. So I hope you guys can hopefully get a chance to watch those, come into the live chat, and talk your hearts out.
Awesome. And you guys, just so you know, Spirits with Spirits is back. So that's the other podcast that I host where we talk about the paranormal. If you guys are interested in that, we are starting up on Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific or 7 p.m. Eastern. We're doing the first round of our haunted locations tournament, where we're going to determine the most haunted location in the world based on what we've already reviewed. So hopefully you guys can join us and check that out. But I think that's it, brother. Let's get out of here.
Thank you, Evan, again. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Yeah, you guys, thanks a lot for being on. And for those of you that watch us on the replay, thank you so much for joining us on the replay. Really appreciate it. So I'm Dave. That's Evan. That's Rich. We are the Faces for Radio. And we'll see you next time.